Yeah. Boom. NLCS Game 3 in Philadelphia. Series tied 1-1. And we're back at Philly. Dodgers pulled it out. Joe Musgrove's on the mound for San Diego. Ranger Suarez on the mound for Philadelphia. I expect tonight to be an absolute battle. So Philly goes home for 3 straight games. Really huge. Welcome to On Paper Sports with your host Mike and John. And Kyle Schwarber is going to lead off the bottom of the first with a solo home run on a full count. Deep to right field, baby. Let's go. Big bomb from Kyle Schwarber, dude. He says, that's right. So Kyle Schwarber is getting hot at the right time. That is huge. Huge. Absolutely huge. Ranger Suarez struck out the side to start the game, going to the bottom of the first. In Game 3 in Philly, Kyle Schwarber hits a bomb. Wow. Brandon Marsh is fired up too. Michael will be here in just a second. Unreal. Unreal. Second career leadoff playoff home run. So that brings Rhys Hoskins up to the plate. A count of 1-1. That gets me fired up. I'll tell you what, that gets me fired up. That's a great start. Great start. So Joe Musgrove, after struggling somewhat about midway through the season, has been absolutely stellar in the postseason. You saw it in that game against the LA Dodgers. He's been unreal. His command and location, if you're watching the game, you can see it. He's maybe trying to dial it in a little bit. It's early. It's still only the second batter, but I mean, now you've seen 2 pitches to Rhys that are they're just not there. The Houston Astros took a 2-0 series lead over the Yankees. They go back to New York looking for a sweep, potentially. So they'll go 3 straight in New York with a 2-0 lead. That's huge. They're replaying this Kyle Schwarber home run. Oh, my Lanta. Big bomb. Dude, that Philadelphia crowd is fired up right now. So Philly's coming off of a loss. They went up 4-0 in San Diego. And ended up losing that one 8-5. Kind of fell apart. San Diego had a 7-run inning that kind of really put them back into it. So so Michael, nobody can hear you yet. I can hear you. If you could, hold on. Turn your mic sensitivity down just a little bit. Just a little bit, and I can turn you up. So if you turn that mic sensitivity down, it's a little bit better, actually. It's a lot better. Okay. Wow, yeah, can't hear it at all. No. right, now that he's got it figured out, let's bring in our co-host, the man himself. Everybody, Michael. Everybody, seriously, stop. All right. Yeah, man. So while we were waiting on you, Kyle Schwarber led off the game with a home run.
News. So what are we at right now? 1-0 count. Real Muto is up to bat. We've got no outs, and we got a player on first. Who's on first?
Who's on first? Right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I meant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
No, we got Rhys Hoskins on first.
I actually was curious.
We got Rhys Hoskins on first.
Oh, Rhys Hoskins on first. Okay.
Yeah. So Joe Musgrove lets up a home run, and then he walks Rhys. Now he's down 2-0 to Real Muto. So it's a good start.
He's got that icy hot. Looks like he's got that icy hot
on his ears again. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Phillies pull a Mets and try and get it checked out?
Maybe they'll go TSA on him again. Sir Kamir, you've been randomly selected.
Ha. Ay.
So there's the lineup. There's a lineup for the Phillies they're showing now. Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, JT, Bryce, Nick, Alec. What else?
What else do we have going on tonight in the sports realm?
Should be a lot. We definitely got. Luckily, we don't have another one of those. Luckily, it's Friday. It's not Thursday, because I don't know how you've been feeling about them, but the Thursday night games for football have just not been. They haven't been it, dude. They have not been it.
You know, I agree. I definitely agree. I will say this: had Andy Dalton not thrown those 2 pick six, one of them probably not his fault. The other one, absolutely 100% his fault. Just the most blatant interception pass I've ever seen. I mean, he literally looked like he saw the guy and was like, "Oh, there he is," and like forgot what team he was playing for. So with that being said, it was a good game at first. Especially what really got juicy. I don't know if you saw this, John, because I believe you were streaming last night. You were having a little good old time with yourself.
I was over on Paper Gaming playing the new.
I was about to say, for those of you who don't know, we have On Paper Gaming as well, where John mainly hosts that. I'll probably get into it. When,
absolutely.
Probably when Fall Guys 2 comes out. You know what I mean? I'll probably...
Dude, honestly, yes.
That's my game, dude. That's my game. No, next Mario Party that comes out, that's my game. Those are my games.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to be playing some Fall Guys over there. I see that. Yeah. Some of those racing games too. Anything.
Yep. So anyways, what I was saying though is what you might have missed last night, which if anybody else was watching the game, they definitely didn't miss this. Kyler Murray, I believe it was 12-14. They were going for 2. No, they couldn't have been going for 2 because they were going for 2 because there is still a play clock when you're going for 2, correct?
Yeah.
So what was happening is the play clock was going down and it was about to end. Eno Benjamin threw his hands up right at the last second. And immediately after that, Kyler Murray took his helmet off, looked over at the sideline, and just put his helmet down to his side and immediately started yelling, "Calm the F down, calm the F down, calm the F down, calm the F down," and said it and proceeded to say it probably about 5 or 6 times. And Cliff Kingsbury, I didn't get to see camera of his facial expression as Kyler was yelling at him, but I did see him standing there with his clipboard to the side, kind of dumbfounded and just kind of taking it. And I was a little shocked. I believe I messaged you and I said, quote, "The Cardinals are falling apart." And I still stand by that, even though they won last night, because the fact is that happened, right? That happened. And the next 2 plays of that game, Do you know that what? Do you know what happened in the next 2 plays of that game?
What?
2 pick six.
Unreal.
Or I shouldn't say the next 2 plays, but the next 2 drives, 2 pick sixes. And that's what got the Cardinals their lead. And then, of course, second half came around. They only scored 3 on their, the Saints only got 3 on the first drive. And it was really downhill from there. I mean, they definitely put up a valiant effort. I think they only lost by 8. But still, it was going to be a good game, but unfortunately it turned into a bad game. In the end, it just became very overpowered by the Cardinals.
Yeah, so we did kind of discuss. Sorry, I'm making a little bit of edits here. So I think we did discuss. We discussed the fact that it's happened more than once now, right? And like, we both kind of noticed that when it did happen, like last night I saw it, right? So I went and saw the clip, and after Kyler Murray was done chatting up his coach, you kind of saw Cliff Kingsbury, his demeanor, and you could read his lips. All he was saying was okay. And at first, I'm thinking, okay, this is a coach that he's just trying to calm them down, right? They're trying to calm down their starting quarterback, who is obviously frustrated, right? And in my head, I'm thinking, it's got to be the first time. It's got to be. I mean, this kid's paid way too much to be acting like that, right? Upon further research, 2 weeks ago, he did the same exact thing to Cliff Kingsbury. And you could see that instead of taking control of the situation, Cliff Kingsbury, his same demeanor, he's kind of, like it's in slow motion. So I know it looks different in real time, but he's more so kind of being kind of like a pushover with this kid that's yelling at him. And I'm going to agree with you. I don't think he has quite enough control over the locker room. He can't. There's no way.
No, I totally agree. I definitely think the same thing. But on top of that, exactly like you just said, a man who gets paid way too much money to be putting up the stats that he's putting up right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what does he put up? Like, what did he even do last night? I think I want to say he was 50% on his targets and his passes. Hold on 1 second. I just realized my volume is playing through my, let me know if you can hear this.
Mm-hmm. Johnny, it's 7 p.m. Are we live? We are live. Jake.
We are live.
Jake.
Hey, take it over for a second. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Jake. Cheers, my bread. There you go. Boom. It's a good night. We are back in Philly for Game 3. Series tied. Kyle Schwarber led off with a home run. So, that's good, dude. How's everybody doing tonight? Johnny, let's go, baby. Johnny, you watching the game tonight or no? Watching the game? I think we earned the right to watch the game tonight, Johnny. I think so. Jake, have you caught any of the games for Cheers? Boom.
Speaking of which, Jake, cheers too. I missed that cheers. I wanted to get back in on that.
Yes, sir. Jake, we were just talking about, I think you caught maybe the tail end of it. Maybe you saw the whole thing. Kyler Murray's little meltdown last night. It's multiple times has happened now, so we'll be seeing what happens after that. And because I typed it into YouTube, I ended up seeing a couple different clips. The one that I focused on, and I watched it a couple times and kind of read into it, was at a training camp. Cliff Kingsbury kind of tried to teach Kyler Murray a lesson in training camp and allowed him to call the plays. Did you see that, Michael?
I did not see that.
So he allowed him to call the plays, and he basically said that he wasn't, for lack of a better term, capable of doing so, and that it did teach him a lesson. So there is some sort of underlying beef going on between them. So I'll be interested to see if that continues. Like I said, this is the second time now. You'd never see Cliff putting an end to it. He just kind of allows it, you know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, did Jake? Are you watching the NLCS game? We're in the top of the second. Phillies are up 1-0 over San Diego. Series tied 1-1. 3 games straight, back in Philly. So we're hoping big things to happen here. Hoping big things. I have not seen that. You have not seen, yeah, you have not seen any of the Phillies, or you did not see the Kyler Murray stuff going on. Both are very entertaining, I think. So Ranger Suarez in the top of the first ended up striking out the side. He's at 15 pitches in the second. He's doing pretty well through one. Doing pretty well. Lowest ERA since 2021. Ranger Suarez is 5th behind Max Scherzer, Corbin Burns, Sandy Alcantara. Big names that are ahead of him. However, Ranger Suarez, man, like, up until this year, I think a lot of people didn't really recognize the name, but he's slowly and surely becoming a household name in the MLB fans' eyes, I think. Not huge into baseball, though. I understand that. We'll get you there. Do you remember watching the Phillies win the World Series, though, in 2008? You remember that? That's what I'm hoping again this year, man. That's what I'm hoping for. And they're doing pretty well. As long as they can at least win 2 of these games here in Philly, I think they're going to be set up pretty good. If they win the next 3, you're going to see me go absolutely nuts on Sunday. Absolutely nuts. I'm a John fan. I'm a Roxanne fan. I'm going to get a shirt that says it too. So, one thing about the channel that was brought to my attention, when you do subscribe, if you don't hit the bell next to the subscribe button, it won't alert you to let you know that we are live. So I had to go and do it. And sure enough, I did get a notification as soon as we click live, but that way I don't have to spam you guys with text that we are live. So if you guys are interested in getting notifications so you know every time we go live, just a little reminder, next to the subscribe button there is a little bell, and if you hit that, it'll let you know every time we go live or post a video. Top of the second, 1 out. Man on first for San Diego. Michael, do we have you back? I know we lost you there for a sec. We have you back now, Mike?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
There we go.
Hear you.
Little technical difficulties, folks. This is a friendly reminder. Reset your PC every once in a while. Turn it off, let it breathe. Every once in a while.
What did it do?
It just started sputtering. It was like you when you were talking, you were like, and I just couldn't understand anything you were saying.
No, we hate when that happens. We hate when it happens. Let's do this real quick. I'm not seeing the chat, live chat. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see, where are we at here? Let's see. I'm not really sure why that's not popping up just yet. Usually it does, but that's okay. Dude, so we had some big signings, big trades in the NFL this week. I think so. We had Christian McCaffrey. That was a shocker last night. I expected to see him get moved. I did not expect.
Talk about a shocker. So much of a shocker. You called me almost instantly.
Yeah.
Like instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like I was watching. I think we were watching the post game for the game last night, and
yeah.
All of a sudden, they're telling me that Christian McCaffrey is going back to Northern California, where he finished at Stanford, played amazing college football there, and now he goes to play with San Francisco, who I think is one of the best teams in the NFC. Not that there's a lot of competition this year in the NFC, but I mean they got a shot now. Would you say so?
I definitely would say that it was definitely a huge improvement. The only thing is, probably by week 9 he's going to be hurt again, and so I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I mean, I think I offered the question to you yesterday about the fact that, I have Elijah Mitchell right now in my fantasy football league, and he's sitting on IR, and I was like, man, do I even keep this guy? And it was like brought to my attention, yeah, like Christian McCaffrey is, I mean, last 3 years, no? He's gotten hurt in some capacity, if not missed multiple games to potentially, more than half a season. So I'm curious, like, I mean, yeah, it was like, oh, also, San Francisco, their record with running backs, arguably not great. Not great. Look at Elijah Mitchell on IR. Look at Tevin Coleman, I think, what was that, last year got hurt, or maybe it was even this year. Raheem Mostert, when he was on their team, got hurt, was out for quite a few times. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that, I mean, that plays a part, no?
I mean, there's no question, right? There's no question that San Francisco running backs, the last couple seasons, don't have the best record with their health. Real quick, Brandon Marsh just made an immaculate catch in center field.
What a catch.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. 2 outs, top second, man on first. But yeah, you can't deny the fact that San Francisco running backs haven't had the best track record with their health, right? But to say that, to rope Christian McCaffrey going into San Francisco into that conversation, I think is ridiculous, okay? It's the same way when people tell you that a 100% healthy running back who had an injury at one time in their career is going to affect a healthy season. Like, yeah, okay, it could, right? If they're showing a trend like Christian McCaffrey does, that they're going to get hurt, yes, we can talk about that. But what I won't engage in is the fact that other running backs for San Francisco have gotten hurt. I mean, those were completely separate to the situation than Christian McCaffrey going out there and playing. You can tell me when I'm wrong. I'm sure that we'll clip this up when I am wrong. However, up until he does get hurt, I don't think we need to talk about that. So I think Christian McCaffrey goes to an offense that's 10 times better than the situation he had in Carolina. I think that the situation on defense in San Francisco is 100% better than the situation that's in Carolina. He goes from Baker Mayfield to Jimmy G. Now instead of having a Robbie Anderson who pouts on the bench away from the team, he goes from that to a Deebo Samuel and a Brandon Ayuk, right? He goes from a tight end who is, I don't know, in Carolina to George Kittle, right? So I think it sets him up immaculately for some postseason football, and I see him making a push with them. Goo Goo Gaga. Jacob Barker is in the chat. That's how you know Jacob Barker's in the chat. Because when he types things, it just comes out as Goo Goo Gaga because it is Jacob Barker, you know? So he didn't even mean to do that. He just has a translator on his computer. So, but real quick, we have 2-2 count, 2 outs, top of the second. Phillies up 1-0. Ranger Suarez looking for the last out of the inning. Puts it in the dirt, full count, man on first. So, Michael, we had Christian McCaffrey, who we just talked about. He's going out to San Francisco. That's an upgrade for both San Francisco and Christian McCaffrey. They're going to make some sort of playoff push. I think they win that division. Now, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., who we have been waiting to see what's going to happen. There was no way that OBJ was going to sit out for an entire year, right?
No way.
Absolutely
no
not.
way. I mean,
so my question to you is, how much of a difference does bringing Odell Beckham Jr. into an already 5-1 team in Minnesota, what does that do to the overall offense, and how much does it change the future of Minnesota this year and the schedule that they have? Do they make a playoff push? Are they surefire to win their division?
Well, I honestly think that the biggest thing it's going to do, in my opinion, is either A, make Justin Jefferson open even more, or B, have Odell have a really, not spectacular Odell that we remember in the Giants year, but a very good year, because they're going to have to split. Defenses are now going to have to be like, oh, we can't double team this guy because we got to watch this guy now. So it definitely opens up their offense. But what does that mean as far as playoff push? What does that mean as far as the future? I don't know. I mean, you know me. I got a lot of coin on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm you know what I mean? Yeah, they're gonna get stomped in the playoffs anyways. They're not even gonna have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. But I mean, what do you think? Would you agree with that? Do you think Minnesota's defense and now with this upgraded offense kind of puts them a step ahead? Does that change? And I know, if we look at some of the other teams in the AFC that are doing good, the Bills, the Chiefs, right? And then in the NFC, it's really just the Eagles. So what does this do for Minnesota? Would you agree with that? Who else in the NFC? Because, I mean, look at what the Buccaneers lost to the Falcons. Packers lost to the Giants, almost lost to the Pats on a third-string quarterback. I mean, who else in the NFC is really anything?
Yeah, I think if you look at the signing as this is going to change the overall conference in the NFC, I don't know about that. I do, however, think it puts them ahead in their division. So now in the NFC North, I think with bringing Odell Beckham Jr. in to solidify that receiving core, you put him next to Justin Jefferson. And before I say this, I know he goes to the Cleveland Browns, right? It didn't really work out next to Baker Mayfield and in that receiving core. But I think it solidifies Minnesota enough to take the pressure off Justin Jefferson. So now, if Justin Jefferson's covered, right? You have Odell Beckham Jr., who has possibly some of the greatest hands that we've ever seen in the NFL. So I don't think necessarily it changes the absolute dynamic of how the NFC is going to turn out, but I think now that actually puts Minnesota a step ahead in their division. So they will win a playoff spot. As far as them getting to the playoffs and how far they go, we'll have to see depending on who they play in that first and second round. I don't see them beating my Eagles, though. I mean, let's be honest. The Eagles 6-0, and I'm gonna keep riding that until they show me otherwise. But yeah, I think that was a huge signing, and I was looking forward to seeing where he was going to go, and I am just so glad that he did not go to the Dallas Cowboys, is where I thought he was going to go. So He didn't go to Dallas. He goes to Minnesota. So I'd be interested to see. I'll be interested to see what he does and how he does, having not played for the first 6 weeks. I think it benefits him for his health, and I think that it benefits the overall offense for the Minnesota Vikings. So I feel terrible for every other team in the NFC North. So they're probably seeing that and sweating their schedule now. But bottom of the second, Phillies up 1-0, 1 out, nobody on. Running backs are the team. Running backs are the number 2 on a team, I would say. They're almost as important as the quarterback. But if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not throwing the ball to open up the run game for that running back. However, if you don't have a good running back, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is, because you're not taking the load off of your quarterback with the run game. So those two pieces are, in my opinion, the best and biggest pieces on an offense. But running backs are the team. I would say that too, Roxanne. Like, Christian McCaffrey goes out to San Francisco now, and I don't see anybody else winning that division. I don't see it happening. That's another division that after he goes there, I thought Christian McCaffrey was going to go to the Bills, who right now are the favorite to win the Super Bowl. They have been since week 1, since before week 1. And the only piece that has been missing for the Buffalo Bills is a running back. So even if they were to go and get maybe like a tier 2 running back, someone better than Devin Singletary to run the ball early downs, I think would have set them apart from even the Eagles. But they had a chance to go after an elite running back who was traded for a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round pick. So Carolina didn't even get a 1st round pick for him. So they let that one slip. But I still think that they could beat the San Francisco 49ers with Christian McCaffrey. Bottom of the second, 0-2 count, 1 out, 1-0 Philadelphia. So Michael and I have a video that we will be putting out tomorrow. The NHL just released their reverse retro jerseys. So if you haven't seen those, go check them out. All teams put them out, which are pretty cool. I mean, for the nostalgic effect and just kind of a cool little concept that they did. And Michael and I were going to rank them. Oh, Bryson Stott hits one to right field, puts it past Juan Soto to the wall, and he'll be in at second base. So 1 out double for Bryson Stott in the bottom of the second. The Phillies are going to look to add to their total here in the second. But upon talking to Michael, we were going to rank the jerseys together. But we did have some differing opinions, which will be interesting to put out in the video. Where we might record them while we're live, but I think we're gonna post them to the channel as 2 separate videos to see how different we rank these jerseys. But if you haven't seen them, go check them out so that you know what we're talking about in tomorrow's video. Some of them are really cool, and some of them just fell flat on their face. So with 1 out and a man on second, Gene Segura comes to the plate. Joe Musgrove, one of the best pitchers in baseball, on the mound for San Diego. Both teams looking for a spot in the World Series. And last night, if you missed it, Aaron Nola, the starting pitcher for the Phillies, got a chance to pitch against his older brother, Austin Nola, who is the catcher for the San Diego Padres. And Austin Nola hit an RBI off of his brother to start that 7th. What inning was that? I'm not sure. I can't remember what inning it was, but it was a 7-run inning to take the lead over the Phillies after the Phillies were up 4-0. So kind of bittersweet to watch, but it was really cool. It was really cool to watch Aaron's older brother get to play against him in the NLCS. So now his parents are at the game. They're coming to these games, and one of their sons is 100% going to the World Series after this NLCS. And I think that is so cool because both of them are starters. Both of them are one of the best players on both teams. So the fact that they're playing against each other in the championship series is so cool. I was so excited for that matchup. It sucks that the Phillies lost, but the way that it happened, as a sports fan, it was pretty cool. So I'm sure Thanksgiving dinner will be interesting this year for them. Aaron Nola, I mean, the only thing he could possibly want probably is to strike his brother out, and he just ripped one off of him to start a 7-run inning. So Brandon Marsh is up to bat, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Joe Musgrove is already at 37 pitches, so approaching 40 pitches through 2 innings. That's a great sign for Philadelphia. As quick as we can get to the bullpen of San Diego, the better in this first game at Philadelphia. As far as other Philadelphia sports go, though, it's good. It's going good. The Sixers started off a little slow. The Flyers finally did drop one. They dropped one to the Florida Panthers. So they're 3-1. I'm worried about betting for the NFL this week, though. After last weekend, the amount of upsets that happened that should not have happened really scares me for this week. I'm going to have to just buckle down and do it. But I cannot believe the amount of upsets that happened in the NFL last week. Jake, you're wrong for that, man. Oh, man. So, end of the second inning. Going into the third inning, we're up 1-0. If we could get those bats firing for the next 3 games, and we could potentially. I'm not gonna say it. Everybody else can do the math. I'm not gonna say it. I don't get superstitious. I do get superstitious, and that's why I'm not gonna talk. And we're waiting on Michael to get back. Johnny and Roxanne, what's the temperature like where you guys are at? I'm not gonna say where that is, but what is the temperature like there? Because it was pretty cold here the last couple days, but today it was a bit warmer than what I expected. Pretty warm, actually. We're waiting for Michael's beautiful face to get back too. That's why you're focused on me, and I'm still ranting. See, 70-ish. That's nice. That's really nice, actually. While we're on a commercial break for the Phillies game, if anybody hasn't, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do have some content coming out that I think everybody's going to enjoy. Like the stream, get us into the rotation so we get more people in here, chatting it up while the games are on. And make sure you turn that notification bell on so that when we do go live, you guys get the update and know that we're up and live, and when we post videos. So I think we have Michael back. Michael, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey.
Hey, we're back, folks. We're back. Sorry, technical difficulties, functional difficulties, societal difficulties. I mean, the list goes on and on. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a world where we have problems. But if we didn't have problems, life would be boring. You know what I mean?
Sounds really hard being you, to be honest.
You know something, dude? It's honestly like it's actually not. It's actually a blessing, to be honest. Let me tell you how great my life is, John.
Okay.
So I have the coolest friend in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Literally like answers my phone calls like all the time. We're always chit-chatting with each other. And like his wife never has any problem with us, just like talking every single day, all the time, 24/7. And I just love that. Second, I have a beautiful fiance. She's absolutely fantastic. I've got two beautiful cats. They're absolutely great. Did I mention my friend that loves me with all of his heart and made a promise to me that forever and always, if I call him, he's gonna answer it? You know what I mean? Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
Do you know who it is?
No.
My cousin Matt. My cousin Matt.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's. I thought that's who you were talking about, man.
No, I'm kidding, dude. It's my boy right there. It's my boy. It's my boy.
Let's go, dude. I always knew it. I mean, no doubt, dude.
The only fib. I'm not even gonna call it a fib. I'm gonna call it a slight exaggeration. Was the part about your wife loving it? Because sometimes your wife is like, "Hey, Michael, maybe like don't call him 3 times a day. Maybe call him like 2 times a day."
No, she loves it.
Dude, I honestly like. No, honestly, I was saying something to Peyton once, and Peyton was like, "Do you think like you talk to John more than Lane gets to talk to him?" And I was like, "Maybe that's why she's upset. That's probably why." Because Peyton says it to me. Peyton says it to me sometimes. She's like literally, like I'll say stuff, and she'll be like, "You could have talked about it." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm busy. Like, I'm doing this." And she's like, "Oh, really? Well, you talked to John for like 2 hours yesterday." And I was like,
I'm just like,
No,
dude, I don't want to get bullied, you know? Like,
you know what I mean? Like, I just.
Mike doesn't bully me, you know?
Wait, are you saying I'm not? No, our wife and future wife are fantastic. We love them.
Love.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. For some reason my game is no longer live. Hold on. Is there a way to I'm gonna have
Alec
to exit
Bohm
the game.
gets the third out of the top of the third. So Ranger Suarez is on a roll tonight.
Really?
On a roll.
So is it still I missed it. Is it still are we still 1-0 Phil?
Yeah.
Still 1-0 Phil?
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Like we like 1-0.
Yep, going to the bottom of the third, so they'll get a little bit of a chance to keep adding on. That's what we're hoping. Got Roxanne back in the chat. What Roxanne? Welcome back, Roxanne. Ooh.
I forgot to do something earlier. I gotta do something real quick.
Mm-hmm. I may see something, dude. So, let me see here. I think I put an alert box. I think I put an alert box on here to show when people subscribed. We're gonna add another one. How about that? put it out.
Ooh, I got me some sandwich coming. What was that sandwich at our favorite sandwich? Well, I wouldn't say our favorite, but one of our favorite sandwich shops.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I was telling you I used to get the toasted Fontega chicken and or the toasted steak and white cheddar. You were saying something about like a turkey sandwich, I think.
No, dude, you gotta try the chicken chipotle avocado melt. Oof,
Ooh, that's what I'm doing.
so good. Or they have a really good flatbread. That is like the same thing. It's like a chipotle chicken flatbread. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I've heard about the flatbreads.
Let me tell you something, dude. Okay. I ate the whole thing and I was like, man, I could honestly eat another one. I really could have. It's so good. So good. Really is. But you and I can both eat like a large pizza to ourselves.
I was about to say, what is that saying though? I kind of almost hear like that's potentially like that you don't get enough food. Are they small? Is that what it is? It's not filling?
I mean, it's a normal person's amount of food. But like I said, you and I can eat, boy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember the days when we used to get that pizza from that pizza company where they would do
Double H, yeah, baby.
They would do the crust.
Yeah.
Yes, double H. Yes, they would do the crust. And I mean, I'm pretty sure there was times where me, you, and Barker would order 3 pizzas, and we would knock out all 3 pizzas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Actually, Tony was there too, so we would probably get 4 pizzas.
I mean,
all 4 pizzas would be done in one sitting.
Yeah, dude, we were fighting over. We were eating them so fast, so that we could get another piece, so that the other person couldn't eat it.
I mean, maybe, but that.
You guys used to get that spicy crust too. You guys loved it. It was like what was it? Like a Chipotle one? Was it a Chipotle one or Cajun?
No.
Kyle Schwarber hits another moonshot to right field, but Juan Soto's going to get there. It doesn't even make it to the warning track. It looked really high up there though, didn't it?
Oh, I love the pin chat, folks. At the top, if you look in our chat section, you will see the pin chat. Love to see it.
Mike,
it's really good stuff out there, John. Really good stuff out there. You know, maybe
Jake, but else, let's look at the 2 chats later though. He did say that he's drunk, so he did say that.
You know, right when I go and switch the pin chat to say I'm a fan of John, I'm going to switch it back now because you said that.
It's all right. Everybody already knows that Mike's looking good. How about that? You didn't know I was going to say that. You didn't know I was going to say that. It's because I'm a good friend.
No, I did. No, I didn't. What are we at? What are we sitting right now in this Philly game?
We got bottom third, 1-1 count to Rhys Hoskins, 1 out, no man on. Philly's still up 1-0. Rhys Hoskins looking calm and steady. He takes a big old hack. It's going to be a 1-2 count. So, Joe Musgrove, bottom 3, he's at 46 pitches with 1 out. So, I was saying earlier, the quicker we can get to the bullpen, the better for Philadelphia.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't want Joe Musgrove longer than we need him. You know, like we don't need all that. Ranger Suarez.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought, never mind. I thought you meant you wanted to hit Philly's bullpen quicker.
No.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. No, I do agree. I mean, look at what he did with the Mets. Their last game that they closed them out. I mean, he just had a phenomenal game. Just an absolute phenomenal game.
Dodgers. The Mets were before that, but he did have a.
No, I was talking about the Mets. The fact the fact that he got called out and they came and checked his ears and everything because he was looking that good. I actually didn't see him play against the Dodgers. I missed that game. Did he do good?
Yeah, he did do well. Now I know what you're talking about because he went what? He went far into the night that game, didn't he?
I want to say he went through the 8th. I think the 9th they brought in their bullpen.
Yeah, I think so.
I could be wrong. It might have been the eighth, but at the least he made it all the way to the eighth,
Yeah.
or through the seventh, and they brought someone in the eighth. They might have kept him through the eighth and then brought someone in the ninth. But when did the Mets manager ask for the check from the ump? That was pretty? I wouldn't say early, but that was at least like what, fifth or sixth, maybe even earlier. But what I do remember, I think you said it. You were like, "Man, there's one way to fire up a pitcher. Call
Yeah.
him out when he's doing nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong.
That's gonna make him feel real good." He's like, "Oh, you think I'm cheating? Oh, well, let me show you what I'm doing. Let's keep it up." And he did. He kept it up that whole night.
Yeah, and another thing you don't want to do is fire up guys like Manny Machado who could absolutely kill a pitcher when he's up to bat. So, and
Hmm.
he'll go to toe with anybody. He likes to talk, and he likes even more to show off his skills to people that are doubting him and causing all kinds of stuff. I get it. His ears were glowing and they were shining, and
Yeah.
his stuff was dirty, and he was doing so great. But yeah, that is definitely one way to not only fire up that pitcher, but to fire up all those other really talented players that
Yeah.
like Manny Machado and Juan Soto. And then you saw
So
they ended up sweeping them.
so Real Muto is in JT Realmuto, catcher, right, for
Mhm.
the Phillies. He's up to bat right now.
Mm-hmm.
Am I mistaken here? It shows him at the number 3 position. Do we traditionally normally see Bryce Harper there? I thought normally I see that Bryce Harper's up on deck. Well, catch Real Muto just right out, was that center field?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
So
that was caught for the third out.
the third out. Yeah. So normally, yes. I mean, I shouldn't say normally. We were seeing Bryce Harper bat in the third spot. That's when Rhys Hoskins was batting in the cleanup spot. However, now that Bryce Harper is back to his old self, hitting his home runs, swinging big on those first pitches, and then swinging for contact thereafter. And then Rhys Hoskins is doing a lot better, or he was doing a lot better when they made that switch at the contact hit and just getting on base. You saw a lot of doubles from Rhys as well. He has just as much potential to hit a home run. However, you're seeing a trend now, finally again, with Bryce Harper batting in that cleanup spot as the DH. That's where he belongs. So you're looking for, Kyle Schwarber to potentially at least get on base, which he's pretty darn good at his job doing that. You saw him hit a solo home run tonight. And then Rhys Hoskins to make contact and at least advance him, right? And then you have JT Realmuto, who is just unreal as an athlete, best catcher in baseball. He's the only catcher, right, this year that you've seen. I think he's the second catcher ever to hit an inside the park home run in the postseason, which is crazy. And then
That was incredible.
Incredible. And then you have Bryce Harper, who's just hitting bombs. So normally you have your most powerful hitter hits cleanup in that fourth spot. And then the second half of Philadelphia's lineup is like another top. It's insane. So
Yeah.
what we were seeing at the beginning of the year, no, you are correct. It was Bryce Harper in the third spot. He's moved down to that cleanup spot because he's just got the power, baby. Just got the power.
Yeah, and I was gonna say another guy that I was really enjoying to watch in the regular season when he was at bat was Gene Segura. Gene Segura, right? He was having a good little run there a little while. I think his batting percentage was quite high, and just a lot of great action out of him.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, Gene Segura for sure. Gene Segura is probably one of the best contact hitters in the league, I would say. He's definitely the best contact hitter on the Philadelphia Phillies, which really benefits them to have him in that bottom half. And the fact that they have such a great lineup that they are able to put him in the bottom half of that lineup, it's insane, man. Like, you get so much from those top four guys, and then you have Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm, Gene Segura. So all those guys are all capable, which is why you'll hear a lot of Phillies fans and a lot of people around the league that say, on paper, there you go. They should not have been in the position that they were in at the end of the season, struggling for that wild card spot in that last series against the Houston Astros. But you're seeing it kind of work itself out. I don't want to speak too soon. And I did. As I say that, Ranger Suarez hits Juan Soto with a pitch. So he's going to go to first base, no outs. Phillies are still up 1-0. We're going to see what he can do. But, yeah, I don't want to speak too soon. But it's starting to work itself out. So hopefully they can play like they do look on paper. Yeah, it's going to be good, dude. I'm telling you. If it works itself out, it's going to be really, really cool to watch.
Well, quick update.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to talk about this. We can bring it up, or we can wait to talk about this tomorrow on tomorrow's stream. The algorithm we decided to touch this weekend and help us out with our college football bets. It made a wild, crazy prediction. Why is this not logging in? My sports betting app is telling me that I have the wrong password, so I need to let it use my face. There we go. Kind of crazy, wild prediction that it made was that Temple was going to beat Tulsa, and I believe you were live, and I said I was going to bet my life savings on it.
Okay.
And then I learned that you don't always want to just bet whatever the algorithm says. You want to bet the value things, the things that you believed were going to be, a surefire bet because of, just your knowledge, your instinct, the things that you know about, football. You need to have that human touch. So I didn't bet on Temple because I didn't think that was going to happen. I was like, there's no way. But right now, Temple is winning 10-7 against Tulsa. Temple has the ball. And I think I might take that bet.
How much time is left?
A lot. Quite a bit, to be honest.
Okay. So how much are you going to put on the game? And what are the odds?
I'm going to put a half unit.
Okay.
So I don't go too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Odds are plus 270. If I had taken it when the game first started, it was plus 375. But yeah.
And this is just a money line bet is plus 270.
Straight money line.
And they're winning?
270 right now. And they're winning right now 10-7.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they look real good right now. Okay, wait, what just happened in the baseball game?
Yeah,
though?
so quick update.
We got a man on third.
Well, top four, one out. Man on first and third. So they're showing a replay if you're watching. Juan Soto goes from first to third on a slow rolling ground ball between Gene Segura and second base. It's just kind of an awkward hop. Like they were in that that switch that I was telling you, which won't be allowed next year. But they were in that. They were all switched over to the shortstop side of the diamond. It just left second base wide open, which is one of the disadvantages that you see a lot. Like if a player ends up if they're pulling the ball a lot, they're gonna stack that side of the diamond. But in the off chance that he hits it opposite way, there's nobody there. There's nobody there within a mile of the ball. So. And that's what you just saw there. Juan Soto was able to get over to from first to third. So that's what we saw. Juan Soto is going to score on this ground ball, and he dropped it. He dropped it. That's
Bryson
Stott fields the ball at shortstop. They were looking to turn two. They get the out at second, but Gene Segura drops the ball before he's able to throw it over to first base. They're showing a replay of it now. He never actually caught the ball. That is going to get overturned. That's going to get overturned. There's going to be one out with a man on first and second. The game's going to be tied 1-1. Unreal.
That's incredible.
Dude,
It's incredibly
you gotta
sad.
be
I can't believe
kidding
that
me,
just
man.
happened. Can't be making those kind of mistakes right now.
Oh my god.
Dude, I have an update. I don't know if you care right now, but I do have an update. I was mistaken. I stated that Temple currently was in possession of the ball. They weren't. They were not in possession of the ball. Tulsa was in possession of the ball. But Tulsa had to punt the ball away, and Temple just blocked the punt, and they have immaculate yard position.
Did you make the bet?
I made the bet, so it's looking good for me, but it doesn't feel good right now. It doesn't feel good. So let's just see. Let's just see if we can get out of this ending. It's tied. It's not the worst. And there's still 2 outs, correct? Or no? Is there only 1 out?
There's only 1 out. There's going to be only 1 out. That he never caught the ball.
They just called it. No,
I mean that's a mistake that you never see from Gene Segura. So you can bet your bottom dollar he's not going to allow that to happen again. I don't know how he misplays that ball so bad.
Hold on, before we say that, are we sure the pass wasn't? Because I want to see
right
the
on
throw.
the money.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, Bryson Stott underhanded it right to Gene Segura. What it was is he was looking to make the throw before he even caught it. So
is that what it was? He's just anxious. He wanted to make a big play.
So what would have got them out of the inning ends up in a tie game and a man on first and second
with only 1 out.
And now Ranger Suarez, with 49 pitches in the inning, is battling a 1-out situation. No, we're going to see how they battle back here. Maybe they can turn 2. Oh, no. Oh, thank goodness. Myers hit a shot, and from the camera, from the camera angle, I don't know if you saw that, but in Citizens Bank Park, that camera angle makes a pop-up look like it is a shot. The amount of times that I jump up when it's just an out, but I thought
the thing is I didn't even see it yet. I think you're a little ahead of me, and as soon as you said, "Oh God," my heart, because I saw it almost as soon as your "Oh God" ended, boom, I saw it, and I was like, "There it is." And then you said, "Thank goodness," and I was like, so I didn't even see it yet, but I already knew what was coming. Oh, thank goodness is right.
So he hit the pop-up, and I thought it was a home run, but then Myers gave it away because he was like, oh, my God. I was like, oh, thank God. I didn't even see it. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's funny. That's funny. All right, so we can do that. We can turn 2. I mean, if we're going to get strikes like that, too, as well, I mean, that was a gimme for the Phillies.
Yeah, it was definitely.
That should have not been a strike.
That was pretty far inside.
I was pretty far inside.
Now we just need 1 out. Anywhere on the diamond,
So I think we talked about this a couple streams ago, John. Like, this is what we talked about when it comes to technology. I mean, I know it was in your favor, but that's the thing about the human touch, no? Like, that if we had the technology, there's no way that would have been called.
It worked out. It worked out in my favor right there. Yeah, it did. But, like, I can see the argument where the rule in baseball is if it's over the plate in a certain area, it's a strike. Do we go?
You know what I think I'd like?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would just like more transparency from these leagues. These are major sports leagues. We can see, like, the NFL used to be a non-for-profit, but I think they've recently switched their status because of the fact that they're a multi-billion-dollar organization.
Somebody's definitely making a profit.
Yeah, somebody. Where's all the money going? You know what I mean? But I think that when it comes to, well, I mean, to be honest too, I mean, what's his name? I know ADHD. I'm changing subjects, but Roger Goodell is running the show. Of course, as soon as they say, well, we can't let you be nonprofit anymore, he goes, yeah, all right, I'll take a raise, and gives him. I don't know if that happened, but I could see that happening. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I would just like to see transparency from the MLB, from the NFL, from the MLS, from any, major league sport that is making millions upon millions of dollars, that has the money for research and development to get these technologies built, why aren't they doing it? You know, what's stopping them? Is it because they don't feel like it's that big of an issue? If that's the case, I argue ask the fans. I kind of want to hear everybody's response. And I know that when it comes to the owners, and I think potentially maybe some of the fans, they might, if they ask the fans, it might go the way of the owners. A lot of people are old school. You know, they don't want the computers, they don't want the technology, they don't want the new stuff. I get that. I'm a software developer. I deal with it every day. I know how powerful and how, you know, great it is. If you're, you know, a little weary and scary of it, you know, it's, you know, I get that too. You know, I used to be that way as well before I knew more about it. But I just would like some transparency. I would like someone, I don't have that position yet. Hopefully we can be in the room one day with our little microphones and be like, Roger Goodell, what's going on with technology? Why are we not having computer chips that literally could be this small, that would not affect the football in any way, shape, form, or manner? Be able to precisely tell us where the first down is, where did the ball stop, and so on and so forth. I'm curious, John, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm there with you, right? Like, I want to hear what the Players Association thinks. They're the guys that are out there every single down, right? They're making the big bucks to play the game that we love. At the end of the day, it is up to them, right? They don't make the money without us watching, but they're the ones that are doing it. Like, they're putting on the show for us. I'd be interested to see what their thought process is. I think that every sport is going in that direction. You know, I think that, I mean, you see it with the MLB, they have the pitch clock coming. They have the shift. They're getting rid of the shift. I think there are in some of the minor leagues now. They have the AI umps who are making the calls. I saw a clip from a game in a minor league game recently where they challenged the strike, and they ended up overturning it. So they used AI to challenge a call that sent that batter to first base. Which, in my opinion, like I said, the rule in baseball, and we just saw it in the Phillies game, it worked out in my favor because I'm a Phillies fan. The ball was inside. But if you go by the book, like, it has to be over the plate in a certain area. It's going to move in that direction. It's not going to be the game that we know and love, but I don't think it's going to change it that much, other than that it's just going to be more accurate. You know what I mean? And that,
right.
I think that, as a sports fan, I think that's the right direction. And I'm going to have to accept it anyway, because I'm not going to stop watching sports. So.
What's the saying? All aboard or left behind or something like that?
Yeah.
Or no, is it like get on the boat or left behind? It's something like that, you know. You know, where you're right. Like, you know, unfortunately, sometimes society moves forward without you, whether you like it or not. And sometimes you just have to get aboard and accept that. But I think in this situation, some situations that can be very, you know, not great. But in this situation, I don't think it's that bad. I definitely think that, you know, I think one thing it's going to do for the game is if a game, if a play, let's not say it goes to review. Let's say that, like, let's just say, like, you know, the ref makes an accurate decision, right? And game goes good. And then all of a sudden, ref makes a decision and it's decided that it goes to a review. You know, like you said, the right play is going to get called. So therefore, I think some of that animosity towards the refs is going to go away. And it's going to make that job more, what's the word? Not likable, but, you know, more attractive, right? It's going to make people want to be, because, I mean, think about it. There's probably a reason why we don't have any good refs right now. It's because everybody hates the ref. Nobody wants to be there. It's like being the president or a member of Congress. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter who you are. And if you made it to the top, there's going to be 50% of the people that probably hate you and 50% of the people that love you. But I think if we bring in that, you know, that computer touch and it kind of takes away that human touch, I think, we'll see, refs not be hated as much, and who knows, maybe we won't need the artificial intelligence. Maybe we won't need the technology because we'll get the people in that, we really want. Oh man, I could bring this totally political right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. We
We're
could say that
definitely
about our
not going to
police
do
force.
that.
Oh, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Last point I'm going to make on this is I will be interested to see is that we're not going to see the human ref or umpire go away completely. Someone's going to have to be there to run the show, and I think you're going to see the best of the refs and umps left to play that part. So, yes, we do see a lot of umps and refs that still miss those obvious calls, but the technology, the AI, it gets rid of that factor, and you're going to have the best of the best left over once that change does happen.
Right. And we can't actually go, we can't make that the last point because Johnny made a good point. Johnny said in the chat, so AI the whole game. No, Johnny, I wouldn't say AI the whole game. In fact, I still think there's going to be bad calls if we allow the referees, let me bring it back. If we allow AI to help out with the games and still have the human referees, right? What I think what will happen is, there's still going to be calls, right? Like now you can challenge pass interference, but there's other calls that you can't really challenge. Like say on a play you saw holding, and you're like, hey, that guy held, and you can't challenge that, unfortunately. And if they call holding, again, you can't challenge if they had holding or not. Like it's an ump call. Sometimes those will be arguable, and I don't think AI is going to be able to solve that. As much as people think AI is going to be like this, all being that's going to take over the world as a software developer, it's very much not going to. Not anytime soon. It could, but not anytime soon. We're talking 100 years until that happens. But with that being said, I just think that when it comes to those reviews where it was clear he had the ball and they called no catch, and the fans are like, this is why, like, look at Detroit, look at like the Eagles, look at the Packers. Like, I mean, I'm probably not even naming all the teams that claim that the refs are never in their favor. I mean, I could probably say the same thing about the Pats, but honestly, like, if we could get to those reviews and let the reviews kind of take over, especially when it comes to reviewing spot of the ball, a chip in the ball would be able to tell us, hey, that's a first down. Some of those reviews, if we could use artificial intelligence and get rid of the referee's touch there, it's just going to make it to where I feel like the fans aren't going to hate the refs so much. And for me, as a Tampa Bay Lightning fan who very much thinks that the last Stanley Cup significantly was played by the refs, I'm not, they won, and their names, Colorado, going to have their names on the Stanley Cup for the rest of their lives, and nobody's going to remember the ref calls, so like it really doesn't matter. But I don't think I'd have so much animosity towards that game and that series ending due to human error, umpire, referee error. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just what I think. I don't think AI will take over. I just think it would help. I really do.
Yeah, and I think the NHL is going to have the toughest time. That and the NBA is going to have the toughest time trying to maneuver that technology.
I think I couldn't even imagine. To be honest, I could not imagine. That's football. I could see it happening, especially when it comes to the spot of the where the ball should be down. We could definitely get a computer chip in there just to find out. I mean, remember what was it like 2-3 years ago? Remember, I think it was like a Giants game. The guy took a piece of paper. The referee took a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Put it down. It touched, and both the announcers were like, "Oh, it touched. It's not a first, or no, wait, it did touch. So it is a. What's gonna happen?" And they said first down, and we're like, "Okay, first down." I don't know who made this rule about putting the piece of paper there and decided because it was that close. It was that close. Do you know how small computer chips can be, where we could literally put them on the tip and be able to precisely within a quarter of a millimeter, be able to put where the spot of that ball was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have the technology. We really do. We have the processing power. They could literally have a server on the sideline It doesn't even have to be connected to the internet. Just a personal server on the sideline that would be able to process that data instantly. Boom, we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's my thing.
Great idea. I see that coming in the near future for sure. Bottom of the
All right,
fourth.
Quick update. Yeah, where are we at in the baseball game?
So, bottom of the fourth inning, we started off. Bryce Harper, he hit a single to right field. They doubled up with a double play on Rhys Hoskins' grounder to shortstop, and then Alec Boehm hit one right up the middle for a single. So that's where we stand right now. 2 outs, 2-2 count to Bryson Stott. Alec Boehm's on first base. Game tied 1-1. But great points. I really do think so. And Johnny, chip and ball, I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. How big the chip is. Does it change anything with the ball? If they go fully AI and they end up taking referees off the field and that chip malfunctions, I think that is a big issue. That's gonna be an obstacle. So
that's why I said I think we still need to have those humans in there. We definitely still need to have those humans in there for sure.
Yeah.
But when I say chip, I mean I'm talking like, have you seen some of these cameras they've got these days? Yeah. They're like microscopic. I'm sure there are enough scientists on this planet that could place the chip perfectly at the tip of the ball and then spin it on some machine. And like, do you know how a tire gets? I mean, I know now. I'm sorry to say this. I used to be an auto mechanic and I know how this works. And I found it fascinating.
Is there anything you can't do?
Do you know how they balance tires?
No.
They take it on this rod. They put this tire on the rod with the rim that you just put a brand new tire on there. They put it on this rod, they spin it, and the machine calculates the wobble and then stops the tire in a specific spot, shines a laser and says, put 2.25 grams right there. 0.25 grams, a quarter of a gram right there. Boom, spin it again. Stop. Put a half a gram right here. Boom, put a half a gram. Spins again. And now it's leveled. I mean, what?
It's incredible for sure. Quick update. Bottom of the fourth, Bryson Stott just hit a 2-out double, advanced Alec Boehm to third base. So now we got a man on second and third for Philadelphia, 2 outs. And it was an absolute shot. It was a one bouncer to the wall over Juan Soto's head.
Wow, look at that. What is the first baseman wearing around his neck? Does he have is that a mask? Is that a COVID mask?
It looks like it might be a little chilly in Philadelphia, and these California boys might be a little cold. That's what I'm thinking that is.
I mean, they're San Diego. Yeah, they're south. They're sunny. They're definitely sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny California.
So it's definitely having a little bit of
a
little bit of an effect on the boys. Mike is a master, Johnny. He's proven it. Maybe Mike, being a software developer, can be the guy that software develops the chip that goes in the NFL footballs. So
hey, that would be cool.
So, Gene Segura, one of the best contact hitters in baseball, comes to the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Man on second and third, tied 1-1. He hit a fly out in the second, so he's making contact. That's usually how he does get his outs. As long as he can put the ball in play and get it out of the infield, the Phillies are going to take the lead again. He's going to take the first pitch. It looked a little high. It looked like maybe it touched the top of the zone for strike 1.
John, my computer is giving me a bunch of glitches again. Not too bad. Whenever someone starts to talk, like as I'm speaking right now, my screen is glitching.
Okay.
But when I don't talk, it doesn't glitch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my game. I'm actually going to turn the game off of my computer, and I'm going to grab one of my Fire Sticks and put it up here on my monitor above me.
Okay.
So give me 1 sec. I'm going to do that real quick.
That works. Yep. Let me know when you're back. Some really good points. So I am interested I am interested to see where these sports go. I know baseball and NFL are pretty close to changing those type of things that we were just talking about. How soon the the NBA and the NHL are able to make those changes, I'm glad I'm not the guy that has to be in charge of that, because that's not going to be an easy task. 1-2 count to Gene Segura. Joe Musgrove is going to look to get out of this inning in the fourth without letting up another run. But there is a man on second and third for Philadelphia. Musgrove is already at 70 pitches with 2 out in the fourth. Gene Segura, come on, baby. Come on. Looks like he pops one up foul. So that keeps him alive. 1 and 2. Johnny, did you have the game on, or are we your update? Also, if you guys haven't, go check out those NHL reverse retro jerseys before Michael and I rank each and every team on a tier list tomorrow. Gene Segura hits it over second base. It drops in there. It's going to score 2 runs. Phillies up 3-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning with 2 outs. So the Phillies go on a 2-out rally started by... Yep, it's going to score 2 runs. So the Phillies go on a 2-out rally starting with Alec Boehm up the middle on a single. Bryson Stott hits a 1 bouncer to the wall as a double. Oh, what a beautiful hit. Gene Segura hits a nice little blooper single, scoring 2 runs. Philadelphia takes the lead in Game 3, and that Philly crowd is going nuts. As Gene Segura is running to first base, oh, he is pumped. He's pumped. Spikes the bat. He's a little too excited, and Joe Musgrove is able to pick him off at first base. So getting a little excited, a little jumpy. His lead was just a little too big. Joe Musgrove throws it over to first base and does get him. It's just bad timing. It looks like he leaned towards second base.
That's crazy. But just a quick update. I did just get a sandwich, so we're going to keep the cam on you, and I'm just going to be here for voice for a little bit.
Enjoy.
Dude, we just went up 2, though, baby.
Yeah.
2 more runs. 3-1. Game 3 in Philly. We got 2 more to play in Philly. I mean, we're looking hot right now.
We're looking good vibes only.
I think you're right. I think Segura got a little too excited.
He did.
He's like, yeah, I got those 2 runs in, and then he got picked up. But that's okay, because you know what? He got those 2 runs in, and that's all that matters right now.
I honestly think that he was so fired up. I think he was going on that pitch. I really do. I think he was going to steal. And I think they timed it perfectly. I think on that first pitch of the next batter, he was about to take off. You saw him lean, and Joe Musgrove was able to pick him off. But Gene Segura, a 2-out, 2 RBI single for the Phillies to put them ahead in Game 3 going into the 5th inning. Great timing. And hopefully Ranger Suarez could keep it up. He's pitching a great game. Other than that hit by pitch to Juan Soto that started off that inning, that scored a run for San Diego. He's been pitching a pretty good game. So if he can keep that up, Phillies are going to be in a good spot if they can keep him in the game till later. So as long as those bats can keep firing, we're about to hit the top of the order for Philadelphia in the 5th inning. So I think we have Brandon Marsh and then Kyle Schwarber. Hopefully Brandon Marsh can get on base, dude. and Kyle Schwarber can hit an absolute bomb.
I was literally thinking the same exact thing. And not only that,
Back-to-back doubles from Reese and Bryce would be huge too.
well, I was gonna say, like, even if we got, if we got Marshawn Schwarber on, maybe like Schwarber gets Marsh to third, we got Schwarber sitting on first. We can let the next guy go out. We can let the next guy go out. Bryce Harper gets on there. I mean, obviously, I don't want them to go out, but I'm just saying, like, with Bryce Harper just sitting there too, just right around the corner, and we saw what he did, against the Cardinals, where he had that nice homer to seal the deal. But then he also had one, if I'm not mistaken, earlier where he brought in a batter or two, right? One of the first game or the second game
Against the Cardinals or against the Braves?
Maybe it's the Braves.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been batting amazing all throughout the playoffs. So I would have to go back and look. But yes, if he keeps it up, I know how important that was for Segura though after he botched that double play that tied the game. So hopefully that sets the tone for Philadelphia. Hey, we made our mistake. Let's just get back to where we need to be. Rangers Suarez.
No, you're right. He was definitely down about that, and he probably lost a bit of his mojo. That brought his mojo right back.
Yeah.
Brought his mojo right back.
Yeah, I think so. Ranger Suarez was only at 58 pitches entering the fifth inning, so he is in a good spot as well. Hoping that he can get out of this inning. I hope that he can get out in under 15 pitches. That would be absolutely huge after taking the lead. Get right back to batting and attacking Joe Musgrove. So Joe Musgrove won't be in the game too much longer. He's pretty up there in the pitches. Ranger Suarez could keep the pitches low, which, oh my. What should have been a routine ground ball for Rhys Hoskins winds up going over his glove. It's going to send him to second base. So what should have been an out turns into a double off error.
These errors are going to
after watching that,
bad.
His eyes are up. He lines his face up with the glove, and he still misses it. I get it. It's a high bounce. How do you miss that? That's okay. I say that from my office chair. You know what I mean? I don't get it. So Rhys Hoskins is charged with an error. Bryson Stott makes a pretty good play at shortstop to get Austin Nola at first base, but that does advance the runner to third. So
I'll take the out. We need an out.
yeah, we did need an out. Top 5, 1 out, man on third. Bryson Stott's playing an amazing game. He's not letting the errors from his teammates affect him at all. Ranger Suarez gives him the hey, that a boy, thank you for having my back. The young kid, the rookie, watching his veteran teammates and infield brothers making errors is kind of putting him on his back, and hopefully that fires up these vets. Ground ball to shortstop. Bryson Stott's there, makes another play. It does score a run. 3-2. Top 5. That's going to clear the bases. So 2 outs, top 5. Phillies up 3-2. So just like that, San Diego's back within 1. And that's going to be the trend in this series. Like, a team's going to go and get runs. It doesn't take a lot for that other lineup that's right across the field from them to close that gap. And we saw it last Wednesday night. Phillies went up 4-0, and we felt really good. I'm sure they did too. You can't get complacent against these San Diego ball players, man. Like you just can't. You can't be making errors and think, "Oh, we're going to get to the World Series." It's just not going to happen.
No, especially the fact that, look at who San Diego's had to play. And they're here. So, I mean, that just shows you the tenacity, the strength, the, willpower to fight when it comes to these guys. And I agree. I think that this is going to be a battle. Like you said, this is going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle to the end, and who knows? It might bring us to a game 7, but hoping that we can clear things up tonight and wrap them up the next 2 nights, and that won't have to happen. But I think you're right. I definitely think there's going to be some sort of battle. Now, let me ask you: when it comes to these bats, I feel like I'm seeing different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at this bat right now, it almost looks like he's got a tennis racket grip on there. And then you look at some grips, and it looks like they've got like a leather grip on there. Is that preference? Is there a standard? Is there a rule? How do these grips get to? Also, I feel like I've seen some raw bats where it was just raw wood. Where do these?
Real quick, Juan Soto does ground out to Gene Segura for the last out. Ranger Suarez gets out of the inning, letting up 1 run due to Rhys Hoskins' error. But yeah, so I'm sure there is.
Dude, you're way ahead of me. I don't know how to get us closer, but you're like, as soon as you're calling it, I'm like, yep, there it is.
So I think there is rules and regulation. There has to be some sort of rule and regulation.
Yeah, I'm sure, definitely. Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, but you see some guys. Yeah, I think it's Matt Vierling. Is it Matt Vierling? I want to say it's him. It might not be though. Either way, there are guys that go raw bat, no gloves. And then there are guys that do gloves, raw bat. They might put some pine tar on the bat. You're seeing it more now where people wrap up and they do put a grip on it. So when it comes to that, I don't know the exact rule. There has to be some sort of rule, and it just comes down to preference. As far as the bat goes, I do know that there are bats that use different woods, but it has to be a certain type. So like, I think it's 3 or 4 different types of wood or whatever, but it does have to be a wood bat, a 1-piece wood bat.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do know that. I do know that rule. I'm curious, why do they even have metal bats if the majors, are wood bat only? Like, I don't understand, why do we even have those other bats?
It's a lot easier to hit the ball. It's not a lot easier to hit the ball with a metal bat. However, it is a lot easier to get a hit and hit it far with a metal bat.
I want to see one of these pros with a drop 10 bat, a drop 10 metal bat. Like, they're taking that thing out of the park every single time.
3, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But, dude, some kids, not everybody's privileged enough to even have their own bat, let alone have a wood bat that's going to wind up possibly breaking, and then you're just going to have to go buy another one. These wood bats are just as expensive, So
yeah, that's true.
I think that kind of plays a big part in it too. And
that makes sense. Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense.
And
yeah.
So like when you're younger, you have to have, I think the regulation says drop 10, and then you hit a certain age, you have to have a drop 3. So there are regulations that you have to follow, but as far as why, I think that plays a big role in it too. So.
Well, drop 10 is the last year of baseball I played, so that shows maybe my age when I stopped playing. I think that was in middle school. I think it was 8th grade.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Drop 10, and then once you get to like the high school age, you do have to use a drop 3.
Yeah, so it was our second game of the season. I hadn't played baseball since Little League pitch. First year Little League pitch. The year before that was the Machine, I believe. No. I think I played 2 years of Little League pitch. That was up until like I want to say 6th grade, and then so I think I only took a year off, maybe 2 years, and then I went back in, and that's when I got the drop 10. But I went to a school. I got bullied a little bit, and I was real upset, and you know what? No, I'm gonna be strong here. So these guys were like, they were literally bullying me in the dugout, taking my shirt, throwing it over top of my head, pushing me around, being jerks, and I pushed them off of me, threw a punch at one of them. They were like, "Oh, really? You're gonna do that?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not even gonna mess with you guys. I quit. I don't even want to be on this team." And I walked away. I left. My stepdad, he got mad at me. He's like, "You never quit. You never give up." And I was like, you don't understand. My team was bullying me in the dugout. So we went and we talked to the coach. First thing the coach said was, listen, Dad, as far as my eyes go, he walked off the field. He quit. He's no longer on the team. To this day, I hate that coach. He was also my history teacher. I'm not going to say your name. I wish I would, but I'm not going to do that because that's doxing and probably illegal, but you're a piece of shit.
Dude, I agree. I mean, that's terrible. Like, especially like how much we love sports. Like, kid that wants to go out there and play a sport
when their team doesn't even believe in them.
Yeah, I mean, like,
they're just like,
not only the team but the coach doing that. That's absolutely outrageous. And even aside from sports, like, and I'd like to think that our younger generation is going in a way that they're sticking up for each other. But yeah, I mean, you do see that, man. Like, it's outrageous, and the fact that it's going to affect somebody playing a sport, which is out from everything going on from day to day life. You know what I mean? It's absolutely asinine to me. So it's terrible that you went at it, though. It's terrible that you went through that. And I hope that somebody sees this, right? Mm-hmm. And they hear they hear your words. And maybe if they're going through a similar situation, they're able to speak out against it. That's absolutely outrageous.
Listen, if you are on a high school team right now, go ahead and face cam me right now. Mm-hmm. If you are on a high school, a little league, whatever, you're trying to make it, you love the game of baseball, and for some reason you are on a team where you don't feel like your team is, really got your back and potentially is kind of like pushing against you, but you love the sport and it's you're dialed in and that's what you love to do. That's not your fault. That is poor coaching. That is poor parenting. That is poor that team. In fact, I'd feel more bad for those people. And to be honest, I've still follow those friends or I quote unquote friends on Instagram. I follow them on Facebook, and to be honest, today I'm doing a lot better than they are. So they're probably peaking there. To be honest, like that's their peak. Like they're doing this because this is their hurrah of their life, and realistically, that's all they're ever going to accomplish. So you're just on a bad spot. Definitely try and get yourself out of there if you can. Of course, if you can't, then just try and put your head down and keep that love for the game, because I definitely feel like as I got older, I regret losing some of my love for the sports that I used to play. I used to play football, baseball, basketball, soccer. I never got to play hockey, but I love hockey now, one of my favorite sports. So definitely never give up on the love of the game because of the team that you're on. If the people on the team are being that, not that guiding light, it's probably them. It's not you.
It's definitely not you. They got something going on. And yeah, it's
one of those moments where you shouldn't feel bad for yourself. You should feel bad for them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
And don't get me wrong. I love the competition of sport. I definitely think there's a competition. I definitely think there's time for friendly banter on the team. Like,
but you don't need to make
you got
somebody
struck
feel...
out. You did that.
Yeah.
But like taking someone, shoving their shirt over their head, just the entire team belittling one single person because that's makes them feel good. I mean, it's just wrong.
Yeah, making them feel like they don't belong. That's there's no room in sports for that, especially at that level.
No. I will say this though. What did you see? What did you think when you saw that Little League game? What was it? I think it was just this year where the Little League pitcher hit him on the side. Right. And, he got walked. It was a very crucial part of the game. I want to say it was the Little League World Series. It was a very, very big game. And that pitcher began to kind of cry because he didn't mean to do that. It wasn't on purpose. And he just felt so bad, probably not just only because of the fact that he hit a person, but also because, he put his team down and he's the pitcher. He's running the show. And, there was a lot of, back and forth on that. I'm curious. I'll let you go first. What did you think about that, John?
Yeah, so you saw this pitcher, this kid, like you said, he hits the batter in the head. The batter gets checked out, goes to first base, and like you said, the pitcher's crying. Right? He can't even continue the game because he's crying. He feels so bad. And you see the kid that got hit goes up to the pitcher. He's like, dude, I'm good. You know, like, I'm good. Let's keep playing. We're having fun. I'm okay. I know you didn't mean it. And in a sport where you see at the highest level, you see these millionaires, right? Multi-millionaires. Just being like, it seems like they're getting more immature, and kids at that level are maturing, right? They're showing not only compassion for the game, but they're showing compassion for others, right? Like, you're on the other team, but like, dude, we're in this together, man. Like, let's battle. Let's have some competition, but let's have fun. You know, and at that level, it's really important, right? And it's incredible to see these kids maintain that with the precedents set in the MLB, where you see these guys getting in fights over stuff like that. You know, like a batter gets hit. I get it. It probably doesn't feel good to get hit by a 100-mile-an-hour pitch, but you have all these kids watching and looking up to you, and you're yelling profanity at the pitcher that does it. You're charging the mound. You're starting fist fights. And then you see, just this past year, a kid get hit in the head, and they're basically hugging it out. You know what I mean? I think that is incredible. I think it's incredible. So,
yeah,
I think it's amazing.
So, I want to say this, though. When it comes to, you were talking about what you said, multimillionaires, right? We're talking about these baseball players. You know what I like to call them? 8-figure and 9-figure salaries. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
It's not multi-million. They're not. Some of these players, some of them are only making 4 or 5 mil. Sure. But most of them, they're making 7, or they're making 8. They're making 9-figure salaries. And to act like that, it's there's no place for it. Not in baseball, not in football, not in soccer. I mean, soccer, they're already flopping enough as it is. But in hockey, mess them up, dude. If that kid hits you, you hit him 10 times harder, okay? I want to see fist fights. I want the enforcers to come back. Let's bring old hockey back.
So I do want to say...
What's the famous saying? It's, I went to a hockey... Or no, I'm sorry. I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah. Yep. I do want to say, though, there's fighting in hockey, and it's okay. It's part of the game. We'd love to see it. However, there is still a code of conduct with these guys that are known as enforcers. If you haven't seen the clip of Sean Thornton after he hit somebody when they were down, he basically cried in a post-game interview, and I don't mean that as like a bad, like, I'm not trying to knock him at all. And the context of his emotion was the fact that the enforcers around the league, the guys that go and defend their top players, their goalie, the guys that are known as the tough guys on the roster, look up to a guy like Sean Thornton. Like he's kind of, there's almost like a club of enforcers in the NHL when that was a big thing. And he was a guy that set the rules and enforced those rules with those guys that went out there every night to be the strong players, right? And he couldn't believe that he broke that code, right? The guy's down. Like, the reason why fighting in the NHL has done so well is because they followed this code. If someone's on the ground, you're not hitting them. Another clip that I want you to look up is Danny Carcillo. I want to say it was either Danny Carcillo or maybe Ronaldo. I want to say it was Danny Carcillo. He got in a fight with a player that had just had shoulder surgery in the offseason. And
I remember this one.
Was it Danny Carcillo?
I couldn't remember who the players are, but I was actually about to start Googling it because I wanted to find that clip, because I remember when you first showed me this clip. In fact, I don't even think I was into hockey yet when you first showed me this clip. Mm-hmm. And this was one of the clips that got me into hockey, because I realized what a barbaric thing to do and to have these fights, sometimes, and then to realize, oh, they're not fighting like I'm gonna destroy you. They're
Yeah.
fighting like, hey, we're both aggressive right now. Let's have a fight. Let's do it. Wait a second. You just had surgery on your arm. Which arm is it? Which arm is it? And he holds him. Which arm? Which arm? Left. Boom. He starts hitting the right arm. Doesn't touch the left arm. He knows he just had surgery. Just came back a couple weeks ago. Just finally got back himself. And he's like, I'm not gonna screw that up.
Yeah.
Like, we're mad at each other.
Yeah.
We're gonna let our aggression out. But I'm gonna make sure I don't mess up what just got injured, and I'm gonna go for the other side. Or I'm gonna go for the face. I'm gonna go down.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was right before the face-off. They both understood that both teams needed some sort of shift in momentum. And as soon as they grabbed each other, that's when he asked, "Which one is it?" And he said, "What?" And he said, "Which shoulder?" And he said, "Right one or left one, whatever it was." And he switched his grip to grab the other shoulder, and then they fought. I mean, respect in fighting while playing hockey is what's going to keep fighting in hockey. And it's those type of things, like having this code of conduct and following to it and sticking to it, that keeps respect, even when you're bashing each other's faces in,
Yeah. Hey, talk about technology though, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason we knew that conversation went down was because they were mic'd up. Do you know what it takes to mic a player up? To have a wireless microphone inside of a stadium with thousands of cell phones messing with that frequency and being able to get all of that recorded? I don't work in that type of technology, but I can't imagine it's easy. I can't imagine. So, I mean, talk about technology, kind of showing us that, hey, like these fights, I mean, that's a learning moment, right? That's something you could bring to your kids, right? Like you could say, hey, listen, violence is never the answer. But, I hope that if discretion, some sort of aggression happens, you'll be mindful of that, right? Like don't hit a guy when he's down, And I think that's a very important thing. And of course I hope and pray that we can outgrow fighting and war and all that stuff, peace, world peace and all that. But, just to be realistic as of the times right now and stuff like that, I think that's definitely a learning moment. You can teach a young player, a young kid, maybe not even a hockey player. Anyone can learn from that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Top 6, 1 out, man on first. Zach Eflin's now in the game for the Philadelphia Phillies. So Phillies go to the bullpen in the top of the 6th. Cronenworth hits a shot that's going to pull foul down the first base line.
Wow. I saw that. I think I saw that before you did. Somehow just leave it. Don't touch it. Somehow I think I might be ahead of you.
It's so weird that
Wait,
happens.
What's your count? Is your count 1-2?
Yeah, 1-2. Zach Eflin's at 11 pitches.
Yep. Jack Eflin is at 11 pitches. All right. When I see the 12th pitch, I'm going to say pitch. You tell me when you see pitch, all right?
Okay. Did my door just close on its own? I think it did. It's a little bit scary. But...
I was about to say there's a ghost in your house, but ready, pitch.
Yeah, I saw it. I think I saw it a couple seconds ahead of you. I don't know what's going on. But 2-2 count, 1 out. Man on first for San Diego. Cronenworth's 1 for 2 tonight. Myers is on deck. He's 0 for 2. Different look for Zach Eflin in the postseason. Pitching from the bullpen rather than the starting lineup. Kind of interesting. Works, I guess, though, if it works, huh? NLCS 2022. Series tied 1-1 at Philly. Very close game. 6th inning. I mean, this is October baseball right here.
It is. Hey, let me ask you. You think Josh Allen's in the crowd right now? Wearing some Padres gear? It's a little bit closer than Buffalo. I mean, he already traveled all the way to San Diego to wear some Padres gear.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he would go into hostile territory like that. Top 6, Cronenworth ends up going up the middle, just right of the second base bag. Gene Segura is not able to make the stop, so man on first and third now for San Diego. So what seemed to be A potential double play to get out of the inning for Zach Eflin turns into the tying run on third base, the leading run on first base. They're going to have a little meeting.
Are you getting an Evan Williams ad right now?
Yeah.
I have not seen that one before. It's the first time I've ever seen that.
Really? I can't remember if I've ever seen that.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Yeah, I'm surprised that it's not that I'm surprised. I just didn't realize where Josh Allen was from. I didn't realize he was from California.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
The funny part is, yeah, but he's not. He wasn't born in San Diego. He was born, in fact, within an hour, if not less, from the Dodger Stadium. But but for some reason, where he was born, he's hours away from San Diego, and he's a San Diego fan. Maybe he was born and then moved to San Diego instantly. I don't know. I'm not sure what made him a San Diego fan, but I did not know that. But I do know that as a Philadelphia sports fan, there are, two teams right now, currently at this situation, right? Philly's facing the San Diego Dodgers. So that's that's who they're facing right now. Of course, if they go to the World Series, it's either going to be the Yankees or who's in that series right now? Yankees and
Astros.
Guardians are out. Astros, that's right.
Astros are up 2-0.
So that's going to be one of your two enemies in the next couple weeks once you guys finally clear the series out. But when it comes to the Eagles, I mean, that's really their only competition. Would you agree? I mean, who else in the NFL could you really see winning the Super Bowl? Because there's nobody in the NFC that's going to win the NFC besides the Eagles. There's nobody. There's nobody in the NFC that looks as good as the Eagles do right now. Especially the fact that the Buccaneers just lost to the Falcons. I thought, hey, maybe if the Buccaneers and the Eagles go at it again, maybe Tom will do it. But no, like I think the Eagles definitely own the NFC. When it comes to the Super Bowl, I think the Bills might be the only potential downfall. What is your thoughts on that? Oh, wait, real quick.
Yep.
I think we just had a double play.
Real quick, yeah. Zach Eflin gets out of the inning on a double play. Gene Segura, very, very punctuated with his play to end.
Did he just miss the bag? Or wait, did they need 2 outs? Yeah, they did. Yeah, so
they did need 2 outs. It was very close.
That was very close. I don't know what's going to happen there. Hopefully nothing.
We'll see. It doesn't look like they were reviewing it, but Josh Bell, who's coming off an immaculate game yesterday, if I do say so, double play. Yeah, so I think it's important to remember that we have the extended season, right? So now we have 18 weeks of football, and I think that benefits these struggling teams that are known to be a lot better than their record shows. So it's really gonna be important that after week 8 and 9 that these teams like the Buccaneers and the Rams, the Packers, teams like that are struggling right now, and the records are showing that they're struggling. They get it together, and they need to put together some wins. I mean, and if they do that and they get it together, I think they could put together a run. Because once it gets to the playoffs, man, everybody's 0-0. You know what I mean? Everybody's 0-0. Right. It doesn't matter. However, yes, having that momentum going in, if Philly keeps playing the way that they're playing, and the other big name teams with the rosters that they have end up continuing to struggle, and same goes on the AFC side. Maybe the Chiefs, if the Chiefs figure it out, but no, I don't see anybody in the AFC beating the Bills in the playoffs. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen, but leaving injury talk out of it, no, I don't. I think as of now, if anybody says that the Eagles are not coming out of the NFC on top. Based on what we've seen so far, delusional. They're delusional. So, and same goes for the Bills, man. Like, yeah, they dropped what? They dropped 2 games now? Or no, they dropped 1 game. They dropped 1 game to Miami, right?
Yeah, I was actually waiting for you to let me have my turn because that's what I was going to say. Is I don't know about saying that the Bills have dropped off. They had a game that was rough that they ended up losing to Miami, but I mean that was, you could argue, fluke. Like, that game almost shouldn't have happened. It was a very close game. On top of that, Tua Tagovailoa should have never even been playing in that game after the injury he took in the first half. The fact that he came back in the second half is incredible. I think the entire Dolphins organization should be fired. The coach, the owners, the medical staff, all the players. I think the team should be sold to another franchise. Throw them in the NFC. I don't care. Get them out of the AFC. Put the Jags in our division. I don't care. But I mean, that's, completely unbiased as well. But what I would say is, wait a second. Quick update from the Temple-Tulsa game. Tulsa is winning 14-10. It's a home game for Temple. Speaking of the Eagles, where's this game being played right now, John?
That game is being played at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Temple does do that throughout the season.
Literally I just saw it all of a sudden. There was an Eagles logo on the field. Like, it was like faded, and I was like, why do I see an Eagles logo? And then I realized Temple, Philly. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they played there sometimes. But anyways, when it comes to the AFC, I really don't see anyone besides the Bills and the Patriots winning that division, like, or winning the AFC, total. Because I mean, just the fact that we've got, Billy Zappi or Zappi now, Bailey Zappi now is just, I mean, incredible. The Pats just look like an unstoppable team. They're just absolute unstoppable force at this point. So that's definitely going to cause the Bills some issues. Totally unbiased opinion there as well. But yeah, it's either going to be one of them two. And when it comes to the NFC, I definitely think we've come to the agreement. What was that? Did you say something? Oh, okay. Sorry. Just, I thought I'd noticed something. Anyways, all I was saying is, no, when it comes to the NFC, no, I definitely don't think there's anybody else who stands a chance besides the Eagles. I understand that the Eagles have one of the easiest records on the books. However, I don't know that matters. I mean, yeah, the first week, Detroit was getting stomped by the Eagles, and then the Eagles made a bit of a comeback, not close, but a bit of a comeback.
Lions.
They scored quite a few. What did I say?
Eagles,
sorry. The Lions, correct. The Lions made a bit of a comeback, but what did we see after that? We saw Eagles defense tighten up, and not tighten up like Tennessee Titans because they look like absolute garbage this year. I'm saying tighten up like TIGHT, you know what I mean? Like, actually tightened up because, there was some struggles there, but they did what they needed to do. I think last week you told me someone, I believe Fletcher Cox is out right now, and I believe you said someone else got injured in
Lane Johnson. Lane
Johnson got injured in the Cowboys game against the Eagles, and you kind of saw the Cowboys come back from that, and we're worried about injuries and that as well. And I agree with that. I definitely think injuries definitely play a huge part. But I also don't think they do. I also don't think they play a huge part because I can remember a time where there was a Super Bowl decided by a backup quarterback, and I remember the fans, I'm very good friends with them, basically gave up. Like, they were like, nah, I mean, like, yeah, we're going, but like we just lost our starting quarterback. And then they ended up winning. And they didn't win humbly. They won, like with a vengeance. Like they had really wanted this for a very long time. But like, in which I agree, they should have gotten, a very long time coming. But they weren't humble about. Anyways, what do you think about that, John?
I mean, so I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there, right? So like you said, so where do you want me to start?
Where I want you to start is, one, I think you should agree that the Bills really don't have any other competition. Yes, they lost to Miami, but I think there was probably, some things that, shouldn't have happened or whatever. I think that when it comes to the end of the day, who do you put let me ask you this. Who do you put second in the AFC behind the Bills? And who do you put second in the NFC behind the Eagles? And I'm not saying second right now, like looking at the statistics. I'm saying we get through the season, playoffs are starting. Who do you think is number one in the NFC? Obviously, Eagles. Who do you think is number two?
Okay.
Who do you think is their next up competition?
Okay, so
and then the same for AFC, same for AFC.
Okay, so so I think after the Bills just had their win against the Chiefs, I think we have to look to the playoffs for them now. Based on their schedule remaining, they've already played a pretty good, and I say that lightly, a pretty good Ravens team, right? They squeaked out a win in Baltimore. So we look forward to the playoffs. The team that I put in second place in the AFC at the end of this year is going to be the Chiefs. I know it right now that division looks a lot closer than it actually is, in my opinion. But on paper, I think the Chiefs are the only team in the AFC come postseason that have a chance to come out on top in that conference. As far as the NFC goes, looking to the playoffs, right? The NFC East, on paper, going into the even just this next week, like, yeah, you have the Giants and you have the Cowboys right on their tail. Cowboys have the easiest schedule from week 6 on. I don't see those two. I see early exits if either of those two make it into the playoffs. They're not going to play the Eagles, especially if the Eagles continue to do what they're doing and they sit at the top of the NFC.
And even if they do play the Eagles, like they don't stand a chance.
I'm not even going to say that. I think they stand a chance. Okay, I don't see the Eagles losing to the Giants or the Cowboys in the playoffs, only because I think that the Giants are riding the coattail of Saquon, and the Cowboys. The Cowboys just don't have a good track record. Like they had, in my opinion, on paper, they had one of the best teams in the playoffs last year. And I get it. It came down to that play where they couldn't get the snap off at the very end of that game, but they shouldn't have been in that position. They should not have been in that position with the offense that they have. I see early exits from them. So let
me answer your question.
Hold on. To get to my point, second in the NFC, especially after this big signing, is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. My money is on the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. Real quick, bottom of the 6th inning, Nick Castellanos hits a double, 2 outs, and Alec Boehm just goes for a double, bats in Nick Castellanos from second base. So with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, Phillies go up 4-2.
I think Musgrove at pitch 100 is about to be called off. The coach, I believe the manager, is walking out to the mound right now.
Yeah.
Let's see if this is the end of Musgrove. If it is, it is. This is an early exit. I did not expect him to be exiting this early, if I'm being honest. I mean, just because I saw from him last time. Yeah. Of course, I missed him in the Dodgers. I don't know how long he lasted in the Dodgers. Look, I'm happy about that. That's all I can say. I'm glad that Musgrove had his fun, and go ahead and sit down, buddy. Let's let the next guy come in.
Yeah, Bohm's fired up. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Joe Musgrove has the capability to go deep into a 7th or maybe even an early exit in the 8th any given night. However, he is at 100 pitches, and after that RBI double by Alec Boehm that puts Philadelphia up by 2, they are going to go to the bullpen. So now both teams are in their bullpen. Yeah. I'll be interested. I didn't catch who
I didn't see it either.
They had warming
I'm not
up.
Sure.
However, Philadelphia went with Eflin. We'll see. I would guess maybe Martinez from San Diego,
Alright.
but either way, 2 outs, bottom of the second. Philadelphia goes up 4-2 in game 3. First of 3 straight games in Philadelphia. Series is tied 1-1.
So, I'm curious if you can tell me to date, to today, who has the best passer rating for a quarterback in their rookie year?
Are they a rookie this year or no?
No. No. Like no.
Of all
like
time.
The years have already basically of all time, but rookies that are playing right now. I don't think there's any rookies that currently have. Well, who's rookie right now? Kenny Pickett. Did they put Tannehill back in, or is what's his name still? Is Malik Willis still playing in Titans?
I don't even.
I don't think so. I haven't been paying attention to them. I thought they were going to be something this year, and they haven't been anything. Kenny Pickett, I believe, is the only. Is he the only rookie quarterback in right now? I believe so. He's the only starting rookie quarterback right now.
Yes, if you don't count Skylar Thompson.
Oh. Bailey Zappi for the New England Patriots has been starting. Now, I will say this. Kenny Pickett is a starter and going to stay a starter. This Monday, it is questionable whether Mac Jones comes back. If he does, then I think that might be it for Bailey Zappi. But if they say, you know what, Mac, we want you to we want to make sure that you're fully healed. We're going to give Bailey one more try. I definitely think they still win. And I hope there's a consideration. I think Bailey's been doing really well. I don't know. But back to the question at hand. Can you tell me which quarterback has had the best passer rating as a quarterback or as a rookie quarterback in the history of the NFL? I can give you a hint if you'd like me to. It's up to you. Do you want to hit?
I'm gonna pass on the hint only because I'm gonna go off principle and I'm gonna say Tom Brady.
Wow. You know what's funny? Is I would have never said that, dude. Tom Brady didn't even start his. It took him 2 years till he actually started. And you know what I mean? I don't even think we saw him rookie year, did we? I mean, if we did, was it his second year that we saw him against Bledsoe?
It could have been, but I think that it's considered. I mean, he's not a true rookie, but it'd be considered kind of like his rookie year, right?
No. This is a true rookie. No, this is a true rookie. This is a true rookie.
Is it within recent years?
Mm-hmm. When you say recent years, what do you mean? Like last 5-10 years? Yeah.
Okay.
And they're still playing today? Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
And they play in the NFC East? Yes.
Carson Wentz.
There's your hint. Nope.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I know. And that's the thing and that's what I was going to bring up after this. I was going to say, what do you think about, Cooper Rush? Does he stay? A lot of people, from what I've heard, have said, had he beat Philly, yes, Dak Prescott would have been out.
That's because
because the Eagles did take it and, they fell apart, honestly. They really did. He didn't look too great in that game. But also, Philly's defense, give him credit. They think Dak Prescott is going to start this week, and Cooper Rush's days are done for now. But I'd be interested to see where Cooper Rush gets traded because, I mean, he's gonna. That's what happens. Look what happened to Gardner Minshew. He went to the Eagles. You know what I mean? Whenever one of those second, third strings step up, they end up becoming trade bait. And I think that's what's going to happen with either Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, whatever they decide to do. And I'm excited for either way. But what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on not realizing that Cowboys had the all-time best rookie passer-rated quarterback?
So it's really interesting because I'm a big, I've always said that Dak Prescott, like I've always said that he has it, like, and I've talked to a lot of Cowboys fans, but if you listen to Cowboys fans talk about their quarterback situation, and it's very prevalent in like this most recent matchup with the Eagles, right? You had everybody talking about how good Cooper Rush was doing. He was the next guy, right? Like Dak Prescott's not gonna have a job. Cooper Rush is our guy now, and then they lose, and all of a sudden, every single Cowboys fan that I see is saying, "Oh, I've never said that." Obviously, I mean, he's a backup quarterback. You guys beat a backup quarterback, dude. Cooper Rush is a good quarterback, and I get it. Maybe it has to do with the rivalry. I get that. I can't say that I wouldn't be saying the same thing. You know what I mean? However, if they are being truthful, it makes me want to throw up, dude. It makes me want to throw up because I've always said that Dak Prescott's I always said that he's a great quarterback. I think the Cowboys should be excited that they have him as a quarterback. But you hear Cowboys fans, most of the Cowboys fans that I've talked to, I can't speak for every Cowboys fan, but most nice pink comment, most Cowboys fans say that they just don't believe in Dak, and it blows my mind. So I'm glad that you brought that point up because I think he's a great quarterback. I when I watched him play at Mississippi State, I said the same thing. I was like, man, that guy's awesome. He's a great quarterback. Do I think that maybe Cooper Rush deserves the job more than him? I don't know. I did at one point, right? But then you got to remember, like, that's Dak Prescott's team. They paid him a lot of money, and nobody's going to want to take that money in a trade. Do I think that Cooper Rush goes somewhere and possibly starts? Maybe. It depends on what it looks like at that time in the NFL. There's a lot of good quarterbacks out there that aren't starting in football.
Saints, he could be starting for the Saints.
Could be.
He could be starting for the probably the Texans. Honestly, the Detroit Lions. If the Detroit Lions right now had Cooper Rush as their quarterback, watch out.
I disagree with that only because I think it would blow your mind to see Jared Goff's stats. He's a great quarterback. His stats show it. He's a great quarterback. I don't think. And now he is paid a lot, right? And a really good point that you really have to think about, and this is a good example is Russell Wilson, right? The Denver Broncos are struggling, and a lot of people want to say it's not Russell Wilson's fault. But let me tell you what, if you and I, right,
it is.
This on paper sports becomes a big time business household name, right? And you and I have a big staff, and we're getting paid big bucks, and on paper sports starts failing. You know what you and I are going to say? We need to do something different. We're the guys making the money. We need to take charge, and we need to take responsibility for that. And so, yes, I mean, those guys that are getting paid big bucks, we can say it all day long. It's not their fault. However, those guys that are getting paid, they need to take responsibility and control their locker room, man. Like, there's a reason why they're getting paid so much money, Yeah. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, just because we were talking about the topic, I decided to do a quick Google search of greatest rookie quarterback of all time. We can go double cam here because I kind of want to be here to see your face when you try and guess who that might be. I'm going to give you a hint just because I need to give you a hint.
Mm-hmm.
This is really weird. Holy cow. So this website uses what's called pagination, which is a way to call your database as you need to. So as a player, as a user scrolls, it calls the database, which if you're using a certain type of language will reset. And so as I was clicking the back button, it would just go back to where I scrolled because of the way it was. Anyways, a lot of people aren't going to understand what the heck I just said. When it comes to the best rookie quarterback of all time, I will give you a hint.
What is that
It is
based on?
not. That is based on all stats, and I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a hint. He went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so without giving me that hint, say that all over again, including best rookie quarterback based on all stats combined, and we can go from there. So go ahead and re-ask me that.
So I'm going to ask you, because we were talking about, best quarterback, best rookie quarterback with best passer rating for a rookie quarterback. We decided, or we didn't decide, but we found out was Dak Prescott. The next question is, who is the best quarterback of all time based on all of their stats?
As in their rookie season?
In their rookie season. It is not Andrew Luck. I know you think it is. That's what I thought too. It's not Andrew Luck.
Okay.
Do I miss Andrew Luck?
Yeah, I miss Andrew Luck too. And he went to a Super Bowl in his rookie season.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that gives it away because I don't know of any other quarterback that went to a Super Bowl in their rookie season. I think he might be the only one. I don't know. I actually had to Google that. I really don't know. I'm actually going to Google that right now.
Oh, man.
You really don't know?
Is it Russell Wilson?
No. Actually, did Russell Wilson make it to, that might be one of those ones that I need to look. How many rookie QBs have made it to a Super Bowl? No, you want me to give you the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do it by reading off of this this article right here. In NFL history, no rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, no rookie quarterback has ever made the Super Bowl. So I was incorrect. He did not make the Super Bowl. Sorry.
That's rigged. Who is it?
Two quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl in their first year as starters.
Yeah.
Do you know who those two are?
That would be Tom Brady.
You already named one earlier. Yep.
Tom Brady and
Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Nope. You were not born yet. You were not born yet.
Brett Favre?
Nope. You were not born yet. You were born when Brett Favre was playing. You were not born when this guy was playing. His name was Kurt Warner.
For the Packers?
Mm-hmm. Two players have won the Super Bowl in their first years as starters. Kurt Warner and Tom Brady both led their teams to the big win and won in their first game. Kurt Warner, who was cut by the Packers, played for the Rams.
Golly.
My apologies. I didn't read the article all the way. I just saw Packers right after his name. I didn't realize it said who
questioned
was
everything that I knew as a sports fan.
who was cut by the Packers. The rookie quarterback with the best rating. Okay, so this other article says it is Russell Wilson, but this other article says
this is a lot of
All right, this bit has totally just lost its funk.
Yes, it has, but that's okay. I like this.
Well, hold on. When I say this name, I think you're going to agree with me because I believe that he did have one of the best rookie years that we've ever seen, and that would be Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ben Roethlisberger, really cool, actually. Really cool story about him getting drafted. If you haven't seen it.
He made it. He made it to the championship. Not the Super Bowl, but he made it to. Hold on, let me see.
He made it to the Super Bowl very quickly, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, he did, and he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yep, he won one against the Seahawks and one against the Cardinals.
Oh, I love this question. Who's the best quarterback to never win a Super Bowl? I think that's arguably could be, excuse me, could
Philip
be a lot of answers.
Rivers. Dan Marino.
There it is. That's what this article said, was Dan Marino. But when you said Philip Rivers, I was like, dang, I kind of like Philip Rivers. You know what I saw the other night during the Chargers game, the Chargers Broncos game? They had a clip of Philip Rivers, and it was him and a defensive player that still plays today who was getting interviewed, and they said, "Hey, who's one of the most mouthy quarterbacks you ever played?" And he said, "Philip Rivers when he's on one." He said, "Philip Rivers 9 times out of 10 when you play him, very humble guy. But when Philip Rivers is on one, and they pan to this replay of Philip Rivers and this, I forget who it is, a linebacker or someone who sacked him or went to sack him, and he threw it up and ended up being a completed pass for a touchdown, a 96-yard touchdown, might I add." The guy stood up and was like, or Philip Rivers stood up, looked at him and said, 96 yards. That's 96 yards. And the guy was like, be humble, be humble. He's like, humble, 96 yards. You thought you got me, 96 yards. And that is one of the greatest clips of Philip Rivers I have ever seen today.
One of the best bits, yes, I've ever seen of Philip Rivers. And another thing that was really cool about Philip Rivers is because he has so many bits where he's talking trash. And you know what you never hear come out of his mouth? Profanity, dude. He never uses profanity in his
you know why?
In his everyday life. He's got like 20 kids,
27 children, like literally 27 kids. He's got the most parent mouth. He's literally trained. He's got like, I don't know if it's 20 kids.
He uses words like silly, maybe. You know?
It's like 8 or 9. Yeah, he's like, that is silly as heck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He uses those. He's like, you know what? HE double hockey sticks with you. You know what I mean? That's what he does.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure
that's another strikeout for Alvarado against one of the Nola brothers, the
Austin Nola, older brother. That's right.
Austin Nola.
So that 17 pitches for
catcher for the San Diego Padres.
So that's 17 pitches for Alvarado, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Did
you say 78?
17.
17. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. 17. All right. So top of the 7, 2 outs. You got 1 man on first. First one is a strike. Is that correct? No, it is a ball. It's gonna be a 1-0 count.
I did want to ask you about Melvin Gordon and his fantasy status coming up, right? So we both saw that Melvin Gordon said that it was upsetting that he couldn't help his team beat his former team, the Chargers, as well as the fact that Melvin Gordon he's set to start against the Jets after being sat early in the game last week against the Chargers, right? Presumably for performance-related issues.
Right.
What are we expecting from Melvin Gordon going forward now that Javonte is hurt? Are we expecting him to finally lead that backfield like we expected him to when he got to Denver, or like what are we to expect from Melvin Gordon moving forward now?
Well, I would say this, the fact that he got sat, arguably because of performance issues, I think that's what we have established. That's the 3rd out for the Phillies. I'm not sure who hit the ball, but Gene Segura caught the one of my favorite comedians, not him. Gene Segura got it, threw it to first for the out. We are now going to the top of the 8th. It is 4-2 Phillies. What's funny when it comes to Melvin Gordon, like you said, we thought he was going to lead that backfield. And Javonte Williams, like you said, is now down with injury. He got sat last game because we're assuming performance issues. Of course, they're not going to say exactly why he got sat, but there was no injury talk. There was nothing. It was just, that was the way the game played out. He got sat against the team that he sat out on that ended up beating them. Okay. Got sat, right, against the Chargers, who he sat out, I believe, till week 7. Is that correct, John? I believe it was week 7.
It was pretty late into the season. I had him in fantasy that year, and the precedence was set by Le'Veon Bell.
I picked up Austin Eckler. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that's the year I picked up Austin Eckler late. And because I picked up Austin Eckler, I'm pretty sure I won the league that year. I think that was 2018 or 2019.
It was about roundabout, yeah. And that's this. You saw the same thing happening in I think, were they still in San Diego at the time? I don't know. You saw the same thing happen with the Chargers and Austin Eckler that you did in Pittsburgh with James Conner.
Do you know who I think I had that year as well, and that's the reason why I won that year? I'll give you a hint. Another LA team.
Cooper Kupp?
I did. I believe so. I don't know if I can look that up. I'm going to try and see, because I know if we go to our league, we can look up the history of who has won. League history. Here we go. So I won in 2020, so I don't think that was the year. No, I don't think that was the year.
No, it wasn't quite the... No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Obviously. We know what happened in 2020.
Okay, here we go. View breakdown. No, I'm sorry. I did not win in 2020. I apologize, Jacob Barker. You won in 2020. I got the toilet bowl in 2020. I got the last place spot. It was 2019 where I beat Saxton in the playoffs. My record was 10-2. The next best record was Saxton at 7-5. Barker at 6-6. Our good friend Ryan at 4-8. John, do you know what you were that year?
No, I don't. I think I played Jacob Barker in the championship, didn't I?
You did, and to be honest, the records were weird that year. That was the year where we still were East and West. You were 6-6.
Okay.
So, in fact, my friend Dylan was better than you, but you beat him in the playoffs to then face Barker.
Mm-hmm.
I believe either you or Barker. Yeah, you lost to Barker, I believe. Barker played Saxon, lost to Saxon. I forget who I played. No, hold on. Barker couldn't have played Saxon because we were in the same division. So Barker, how was it me and Saxon? I don't know. Saxon got second place somehow. But all I know is I won that year, and if I remember correctly, I think I had... Let me look it up. What was the year? What was the year Melvin Gordon sat out? And I know he didn't sit out the whole year, but... It was the 2019 season, which is the year that I won. That's the year that I got Austin Eckler and Cooper Kupp, and that was what solidified me that season. And to be honest, that's something that people have to look for when they're playing fantasy football, is they have to figure out who is going to be RB1, RB2, or at least get one of the top 3 running backs and wide receivers. Like, that's how you win fantasy football. Ooh, there's to shortstop first. That's the first out. Who was that?
We
Segura?
are literally lined up. You said that as I was watching it. That was crazy.
Okay. Hey, I like that.
That was crazy. So, next point. And I want you to bring everything you have. So go ahead and take a drink. And tell me when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Christian McCaffrey goes to San Francisco. Okay, and I think what everybody is looking for on their waiver wire this week before this weekend starts, who, between Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, are the next man up in Carolina?
Chuba Hubbard.
Okay, so
I honestly, I don't know. The reason why I'm saying that is because I know Chuba Hubbard's name. What was the other player's name that you mentioned? I think I might know them.
Deontay Foreman is, right now, as it stands, he is going to be the guy that works the early downs, and that is in the short term. That's what we know because based on what we've seen and based on what coaching staff has allowed us to know. So, like the knowledge that we have now is that the information that we have now is that Deontay Foreman is going to be the early down guy. And Chuba Hubbard will be kind of a change of pace running back. I went ahead and picked up Deontay Foreman in both of my leagues and started him.
I can tell that now.
Yeah. I wanted you to see that first off. And second off, so you believe that there is a chance that Chuba Hubbard ends up taking over that role. But as of now, it stands in the short term, Deontay Foreman is going to take that early down role for Carolina. And, I guess what I'm asking is, like, what are your thoughts on that information and the situation as a whole in Carolina?
Oh, well, I mean, the situation as a whole in Carolina, I could easily comment on because it's a no-brainer. I mean, look at what they've done with their team. They just got rid of Robbie Anderson. They just got rid of Christian McCaffrey. I mean, they are, trying to be Super Bowl contenders in the year 2030. So, they're full rebuild. I don't expect to see Carolina to be anything for at least a couple of years. I mean, the fact that they traded away Christian McCaffrey and didn't even get a first-round pick, I have to contemplate that. I have to think about that for a second. Like, I'm just off the dome here. How do you trade? Arguably, I get the injuries play a factor. Arguably, one of the best running backs we've seen of our time. I guess I know how you do that. I guess someone said this to me a long time ago, and I didn't agree with it. They said running backs are not a dime a dozen. Right? A dime a dozen meaning that they're rare. They said that they're not a dime a dozen. They are not rare. Good running backs are not rare. And if I'm being honest, I kind of agree with that statement. I kind of agree that Carolina giving up Christian McCaffrey really didn't make or break them. They were going to be rebuilding regardless. I think pulling in Baker Mayfield was like this. Maybe this does it for us and we can do something, but I don't think that was really the fact as we can see now. I think I'm realizing that. I think I'm realizing that running backs are not as rare as we think because of the fact is they change so often. I mean, when I first started playing fantasy football, the number one running back that was picked was a guy that came out of the Houston Texans. Can you think of his name? Just throw it out. I know you can do it right off the top of your dome.
This year?
No. When I first started playing fantasy football, the number one running back to pick up was this guy, and he played for the Houston Texans.
Arian Foster. The number one running back off the board from Houston?
The number one running back in fantasy football was this guy. The first year I ever played fantasy football.
Was it Lamar Miller?
No.
From the Houston Texans.
I hope it's the Houston Texans, and I'm not a big dumb idiot. I might be wrong. It might have been.
I think you're wrong.
I'm going to say Arizona Cardinals potentially.
David Johnson.
Could I be wrong? David Johnson.
So he did end up playing. He did end up playing for Houston.
Later, that's right. Okay, I'm a big dumb idiot. I totally just screwed up this whole bit, but that's okay. David Johnson is who I was talking about. But the next year after I played that year of fantasy football where it was David Johnson, it was no longer him. It was another running back who came out of Pittsburgh. Do you remember who that was?
Le'Veon,
off the top of the dome.
Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon Bell. But then, just a couple years later, if not the next year, the number one running back, and I might also mention, because David Johnson had that year where he got hurt, dropped. Le'Veon Bell held out, dropped. The next year, and I actually don't know if he dropped that year. I think Le'Veon Bell was still projected. No, Le'Veon Bell, the year he held out, they definitely put him down. A guy who only had, I think, one good year, and then the next year everybody was rating for him, but didn't have a good year. Played for. Who did he start out with? Was it the Saints? No, I don't think so. I think it was the Rams. He's in a lot of rap songs. Can you think of who I'm talking about? Arthritis in his knees.
Talking about Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley. So that's what I'm saying. Like the number one running back consistently changes. I mean, look, it was Christian McCaffrey. Then it was the last time it was Derrick Henry. And then this year it was Todd Gurley. Or not Todd Gurley. Jonathan Taylor. So the running back situation changes quite consistently. Whereas for a few years, it was AB, in the wide receiver position. I feel like there was like a year or two. It was also DeAndre Hopkins, or maybe Mike Thomas might have been one of the. It almost felt like for a good few years it was AB, Mike Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins.
There were 6 years
Julio
there where it was AB.
And Julio Jones too. Julio Jones for a consistency for like 3-4 years was top 3-4. And don't get me wrong, when I say some of those names when it comes to running back, I think those positions, transitioned within the top 3, 4, 5, which is very similar to running back. But I definitely think to wide receiver. But when it comes to wide receiver, I think consistently you definitely see a player stay in that top dog spot, top 3 spot for a longer time. Whereas running back, it's changing. It's changing consistently. I mean, where do you see Jonathan Taylor being next year? I mean, top 10 maybe, but.
So we saw at the beginning of the season Frank Reich comment on the fact that Jonathan Taylor wasn't going to see the touches that he saw last year, right? And we all kind of expected that. A lot of us thought maybe he wasn't going to stick to his word so much. I mean, granted, he has been...
Especially with Matt Ryan as quarterback, so we really thought that wasn't going to happen. We were like, oh, yeah, sure. You got Matt Ryan as quarterback. We're going to see Jonathan Taylor again, but...
Right. It kind of opened up the door for Jonathan Taylor in the run game. And granted, he has been battling a little bit of injuries early this year. If I was in the front office, not even the front office, in the coaching staff, if I was part of the coaching staff in Indianapolis after analyzing how it went this year based on last year, I would say that as long as Jonathan Taylor comes back from these injuries as healthy as he was last year, they go right back to it. They start pounding the run game like it was. I mean, he was going up against defenses, and they knew that he was coming for him. They knew they were handing the ball off, and they were still not able to stop him. And in those games, towards the end of the year, he was still scoring up to 5 touchdowns a game. So I do see Jonathan...
look at Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was doing that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And as long as injuries allow, if he's healthy, I see him getting back to that. However, I do want, because everybody is looking now at a year. Let me just get this point so we can get this bit. So in a year where running backs are far and few in between to start every week in your fantasy lineup out of Carolina's backfield, who do you want off the waiver wire and starting in your lineup for the long term out of the Carolina Panthers backfield?
Neither of them. I mean, like we talked enough. I mean, if I had to choose, I would say Chuba Hubbard just because I know Chuba Hubbard and I think that he could do it. But also, like, look at Mike Davis. Mike Davis played for them and did a great job, and now he's nothing. You know what, actually? They are a run-heavy offense because of the fact that they had Christian McCaffrey. So if I had to choose between the two, I think I'd choose Chuba Hubbard. How about you?
I could see in the long term Chuba Hubbard taking over that role. I love Chuba Hubbard, and I am a big fan of Chuba Hubbard. So that does play a role in it. As of now, like I said, short term, coaches went with Deontay Foreman, and we'll have to see where that goes. I picked up Deontay Foreman. I think I stashed Chuba Hubbard as well, just in case. I'm running low on running backs, and I'm sure a lot of people are. So as far as short term, Deontay Foreman, I could see Chuba Hubbard going for it. So if you're in the same boat, good luck, because I am right there with you. I just wanted to get that bit. All right, go ahead.
All right, I got to bring back up Jonathan Taylor real quick. For the fantasy football owners who own Jonathan Taylor, all those sad souls out there who had the first round pick and picked up Jonathan Taylor and was probably suggested at one
Me in
point
both
that they
of my
shouldn't take
leagues. I
Jonathan
got
Taylor.
first overall in both of my leagues, and I picked him up.
Probably was suggested by a close friend that, hey, maybe try Christian McCaffrey or maybe try someone else. I mean, I don't know, maybe give someone else a try. Whatever, we're moving on. If Jonathan Taylor somehow, like if for some reason the Colts said, hey, we want to trade him as a fantasy football owner of Jonathan Taylor, if I own Jonathan Taylor, I'll speak first because I don't really have any relation. I'll let you speak second because I feel like you might have a little bit of relation to this. If I had to pick, if I was a fantasy football owner and I had Jonathan Taylor and I said, hey, it's not working in the Colts offense right now, where do I want him? I would probably say, now seeing CMC go to San Francisco, I'd want to see Jonathan Taylor at the Bills. That's like the one thing they don't have right now is a running back, and I think that they could have a running back. I think that if they had a running back, it would be game over for the rest of the league. Those guys would definitely win the league, and I think he would succeed there very much. John, I don't know. Remind me, I think you have Jonathan Taylor in one of your leagues. Where would you want to see him go? Is it one league?
I pulled Jonathan Taylor in both of my leagues this year. By the graces, I was able to secure the first spot in both of my leagues, and I picked up Jonathan Taylor. So if you are in that same boat, I'm right there with you, okay? Jonathan Taylor is not leaving Indianapolis anytime soon.
Oh, I know that. But I'm saying, right, as a fantasy owner, if you could see him go to another league, I know he's not leaving, of course. I mean, that would be like crazy, right? That'd be like Carolina giving up. Anyways, where would you want to see him go?
Philadelphia Eagles, baby.
Okay, unbiased. Where do you think he would get the most fantasy football value?
Most fantasy football value, I think he would get. Jonathan Taylor is like a once in a decade, maybe even generation talent. However, I could see him getting the most fantasy relevance in Buffalo.
Quick update on the Temple Tulsa game. It's going great if you bet it on Temple. Correction, it's going terrible if you bet on Temple. 84-yard touchdown, Tulsa. They're now up 24-10. Wolf. On top of that, San Diego just had themselves a nice little hit. Ooh, we got Sir Anthony Dominguez coming out from the bullpen. To be honest, I just love saying his name. I just love Sir Anthony Dominguez. I like saying his name.
I really
do. And
hold on, look at this.
And when I listen to them talk about it on the radio too, when I listen to it, because I'll listen to MLB radio on the what do you call it, on Sirius XM, and I love it. And the way when he says it, every time he says it, Sir Anthony Dominguez, like it's perfect every time.
That timestamp right there is going to be probably the best bit from this entire live stream. I'm telling you right now. Me coming out of a rant, going to you like this, and then coming to this double box scene, and then zooming in on bets, not talking about it. Oh, man.
Oh, I didn't even know it's still there. Yeah, we got to reset that tomorrow, though. I definitely agree that we should, because like by tomorrow morning, by the time we go live, I'll have like 6 of my bets already settled. Speaking of which, though, I just looked. I don't know if you can see difference, but I think we're down to just me watching the stream.
Yeah,
I think I'm the only one watching the stream right now.
I am too. It says one watching, but it has me. I mean, I'm in there, so maybe it's not registered.
Oh wait, I'm watching it through On Paper Sports because I was using the mod feature to be able to pin the chat. Let me
That's
go
all right.
back to my actual
We're getting some good bits, and
premium.
that's what it's all about right now.
No, definitely. We definitely got a good one there with Jonathan Taylor. Dude, I'm very stoked. I think today with like some of these topics, I do have to say though, and I'll do this tomorrow while I'm driving. I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to probably put on NFL radio and just listen to like all the news. And we just need to add a bunch more topics for tomorrow. We have a bunch, like we haven't talked to anybody about the hockey ones, which I think we should stick with cuz we've got all that coming tomorrow. Which speaking of which, tomorrow, be ready because we're rating all of the Adidas by NHL retro reverse jerseys. Well, we're actually going to do that in a video by ourselves. Are we going to talk about it though on live on stream? We could probably do that though, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
we could probably
absolutely.
we could bring up both of our boards and just kind of we could talk about what we did as we watch the next game for the Phillies
We can
game.
honestly do it all live, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this scene here, and let me actually.
Ooh, show me that scene, and while you show me that scene, I'd like you to go to Discord and pull up because I do know we can pull this up. The video from the game that we watched a couple days ago. Aaron Nola and what's the other Nola's brother's name?
Austin Nola.
Austin and Aaron Nola's father in. Oh, I think my camera's over to the right. I think you want to move that over to the left.
I will. Hold on.
Wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at my apologies. I am looking at there we go. All right, there we go. Yep, perfect. We're doing it on the fly, folks. We're doing it on the fly. You know what I mean? Like we're getting this, we're perfecting as we go, and we do that for the fans. Like we're not, you know what I mean? Like we don't just leave it there. We for the fans. On paper, we're the best podcast out there. I mean, just on paper we are. I'm just on paper. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. But this is what
throw
we'll be using tomorrow.
Throw up that video. Yeah, throw up that video because we can watch that because that is we're commenting on it. We're not like stealing from a broadcast or anything. We are commenting on this video, and that's exactly what I comment on because John, I believe like we don't need to get into personal beliefs, but we might be fathers one day.
Mm-hmm.
We might be fathers one day,
mm-hmm.
and there's a chance we have two boys,
mm-hmm.
and there's a chance that both those boys grow up to play in the MLB or in the NFL or in the MLS or in the NHL. Who knows? But there's a chance that they both play in both, same professional league, but on two different teams. Not only on two different teams, but on teams that could potentially face off. Well, 100% either face off in the playoff or potentially face off in the championship, the ultimate championship. Well, when you're at that game and you have, all these fans around you and you're wearing two different jerseys, right? Because you're trying to support both your boys. And one of your boys does something for the home team that you're currently at. And the people that are in front of you probably asked, hey, why are you wearing two jerseys? And you said, well, those are both my boys. Are going to turn around and say, hey, your one son just got us some scores, and try to give him a high five, and then all of a sudden, the camera catches this clip.
Hold on one sec.
No worries.
I'm trying to get it pulled up, and it's not playing in Discord where you dropped it, and the man that you sent it, that posted it on Twitter, he posts a lot of stuff. I don't know if you know that, but he posts a lot of stuff.
Here. Do you want me to send it to you? Do you want me to send it to you? Like, wait, I'm confused. What do you mean it wouldn't play on Discord?
The media is not playing. So send me an actual. Never mind. I got it.
I was gonna say media could not play for me either. So good thing. Hopefully you got it.
All right, let me do this.
Pum 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 pum. Pum, 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 pum.
All right. So should be able to cut literally everything that you just said. And then
Oh yeah.
we're gonna play
And make it to where it's seamless. Yeah.
Okay. Where is your face? Here it is. Boom. All right. Ready?
Hold on. Give me 1 second before you start talking. How do I get back? I left our video chat in. Oh, hold on. Never mind. I'm there. Okay, perfect. Got it all set up. So this chat or this video clip right here. Go ahead and play it, John. Look at this. Fan in front of him. Pause it right there. Pause it right there. Can you pause it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Yep. Pause it right there. Look at him. This lady is staring him in the face like, let's go. And his hand is there like, lady, I'm not. What do you want me to do? I can't cheer. I can't not cheer. He's sitting there like, I can't do anything. I'm shocked. And I think for a dad, in my opinion, that's the best dad moment. That's the best dad reaction you could have right there. Like neither son can go back and watch that clip and be like, Pop, like they're both like, hey, Dad, I appreciate you rooting for me. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them are like, Dad, I appreciate you. You wanted to cheer for me, but you didn't. And then Aaron Nola's sitting there like,
Yeah.
I know you were like upset because you wanted us to win that game. I appreciate you, Pops. That is the best dad moment. He played that so perfectly. Dad of the year world. You know what I mean? DVP. Wait, no. MVD. Most valuable dad.
Most valuable dad for sure. One of his sons is going on to the World Series. He knows that, but he's not going to root against his son. But he's not going to cheer for it. It is kind of a precious moment. You know?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can't really do much about it. You know,
it's incredible. It really is incredible.
That's seriously crazy. Also, can we take a real quick moment now that we're still here? What the heck is this lady? Tiki, what? What does that have to do with San? Well, it looks like she's got 13 different advertisements on her shirt. It doesn't even, like, if she wasn't wearing the San Diego hat, I would have never known she was wearing a San Diego shirt. What is the Tiki? What is going on with her shirt?
Listen, San Diego fans are just having a good time, man. They're just having a good
Is that
time
what
and
it
happy
is?
to be here.
Have you ever seen that? Is that a jersey? Like, is that a retro of some sort?
I can't speak on it. It has something to do with the San Diego Padres, but I don't know what that is. We don't do that in Philly.
I don't know what that is either. No.
Apparently, we don't get down.
Hey, I'm
like
glad
that.
you don't.
Yeah, I feel.
But apparently, you don't
Let's go back
confuse
to this
the
so I
people
can
who are
pull up the
watching the
game
national
again.
broadcast.
That's gonna be
Also,
a
I will
great
say,
bit, by the way,
while we were
great call.
while those games were going on,
Mhm.
or while that game was going on, there was a cameraman on the staircase next to the Nola's father and mother the entire game. There's not just that clip. There's a ton of clips.
Oh yeah.
Now, I believe you could probably look up the clip where he struck out his brother in the first at bat.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm no, was it a strike? No, I think it was a ground out. I believe it was.
He got him out.
He struck him
he
out.
got him out the first go, and then he hit that.
He was
RBI to
out,
start that
but it
game.
wasn't a strikeout. I believe it was a ground out. But that camera was on Pops for a majority of the game, and Pops, I would not want to play poker next to him. Is what I'm saying. He's got a poker face, man. Such a good job.
He had the sunglasses going on too.
That helps.
Yeah.
That definitely helps. I think I have the same sunglasses as well.
Top 8,
I love
2-2
when
count, 2 outs. Phillies
Yep.
up 4-2. Man on second. But yeah, dude.
I love when they pop it, it flies back, and the people in the crowd are like,
Dude, that'd be
even
me.
though there's a big net there, you think you would?
Dude, I watch those videos. Of like
Yeah.
baseballs like flying at the camera, and it makes me jump. You know?
Peyton, I don't know how she does it. The clip will come up, and she knows it's happening. So immediately she'll turn her head and look at me. I don't recognize it yet, so the ball comes flying, and I go, and I'm like, you saw it coming. I can't even. And she was just staring at me. I'm like, you idiot, you didn't see it coming. There we go. We just finished the 8th. We're going into the 9th. Top of the 9th. We've got one more to go.
Correction. We're
Phillies
going
up
to the bottom of the
4-2.
8th, so the Phillies have a chance to go up even further in the game. So that was the end of the top of the 8th. That is the final out.
I just saw an error then. I just saw an error. When I looked at it and it switched from top of the eighth, you're right. And I don't know why I didn't pick up on this. I'm telling you, we're going to have to go back and look at the replay. When they switched from top of the eighth, it said end of the eighth. But then after you said that, it switched scenes and it said middle of the eighth.
Ah, there you go.
The TV reporter just screwed me up there. TV report, that's a TV timeout right there.
So everybody can take it easy on me when I switch to the wrong scene, okay? Because even the best in the business do it, okay?
I was gonna say there was one point where I made like a one sentence point and it was your face. You switched to me and I'm just sitting there like this, and then you switch back to your face and I was like, "Yep, we didn't get my face. We didn't clip me." Wait, when you're recording right now, is it recording whatever you have in OBS, or is it recording? Okay. Is there a way we can record our cameras?
So when I bring up this scene, it's recording exactly what you see.
Right, it's recording exactly what I see, but I'm just curious if we could I don't know. I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to look into research for that. I need to get a better laptop. Just so that we have that in case anything like that ever happens, and we might need my facial expression. Or your facial expression, you know what I mean? Like, regardless, I think we should look into that. Just to not only have the scene recorded, because I watch a lot of streamers, I feel like, and some of the fans that are watching right now, comment in the chat if you see this as well, where all of a sudden it's their face and it's like, oh, duh, they're recording, like when they're streaming, they probably have their face being recorded on one memory card, the gameplay being recorded on another, hard drive or memory card, and then the entire gameplay is recorded as well. So I think there's a way you can record all three separately. I think we should probably look into that. But we don't really have a lot of gameplay, so I don't know if we necessarily need to record that. I just think having both of our faces recorded might come in handy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too. And that's just where we're gonna have to grow as content creators. But
and that's the thing.
I learned a lot today when I was doing my research.
We want to grow as content creators for the fans, because on paper, I mean, we're the best sports podcast out there.
I agree. But my wife made a really good point last night. She's like, can I share it with people and push it for the reason, like one of the big reasons why you wanted to do it? And I was like, what was that? And it was for men that have significant others, or not even just people that love sports, that have significant others that don't really enjoy watching sports, right? They don't really care about it. So we have this now, this place, right? This sports safe haven where people could come and watch the games with us. You know what I mean? We have people to talk to about it and enjoy it and love the game. And I said, that is an amazing idea. I love you. You know what I mean? That was a great idea.
I love that idea. Especially too when, like, maybe that husband or that significant other, that partner is maybe in the hot seat, right? Maybe been watching too many sports, and that significant other has kind of been giving them a little bit of slack, like, hey, like, you've been watching too many sports. And so maybe there's an important game on and they're, watching their show together, right? That House of Rings or whatever. I don't know, some stupid new Prime Video is out. But anyways, they're watching that with their significant other because that's what they want. But they're like, hey, I'm just going to have this on my phone. And they're like, yeah, sure, as long as it's not sports. And they're like, yeah, no, it's not sports. And they come to our podcast so that they can get the updates, which is the bottom of the eighth, 1-2 count, no outs. Ooh, they're going to count that as a strike.
That was a good pitch.
They're going to count that as a strike. I mean, that was outside. They're counting it because he swung, no? I mean,
he painted that corner pretty good, but it's been like that all night.
Did he paint the corner? I felt like he was outside the corner in that. I don't know. I got to see the replay, but also
with the trend that's been going tonight, that's a strike.
Was a flinch. Yeah, you're right. With that inside one that we saw a little bit ago. Yeah. All right. I guess we have to give him that one. We'll give him that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a damn good bit.
So we got what? We got 3 outs to go.
Yeah, so the Phillies just have to get 3 more outs to win this game.
Right.
And go.
It would be great if we could, it could be great if we could get a little bit of a lead. Oh, we got Harper. Speaking of giving us just a little bit of a lead, remember when he gave us a little icing on the cake?
A little icing?
Well, yeah, it would be nice if he could just run that again real quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little cherry on top. Let's see what he can do here. Bryce Harper.
See,
Inside.
inconsistency.
That one they're going to call a ball. They're going to call that one a ball.
It turns out in our favor.
I mean, it turns out in your favor. And what's crazier is the other one was way more inside than that one was.
Yeah.
The other one was way inside. And the fact that it got called a strike, it honestly really blew my mind. But it's another thing, you know. It kind of comes down to the human touch, and that's strike 2 for Harper. We get a 1-2 count, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. But I mean, that's just how it is with the human touch right now. And you know, sometimes it plays in people's favors, but I definitely think that
change is coming.
Change is coming, and I don't necessarily think, like, when it comes to baseball, that we necessarily need an artificial intelligence sitting there behind the ump, like, giving those calls.
Bryce Harper flies out to center field for the second out of the bottom of the 8th.
Flies out, and that is the second out. Yep. I don't think that we need what was I talking about? Damn it. I lost my train of thought.
Human touch.
Human touch. So I don't think that we need an artificial intelligence standing there, staring at the strike zone, giving us the exact answer. Where I think that it would make just a little bit of a difference is just when it comes to replays. If we could use artificial intelligence to give us the replay, even if we think the artificial intelligence is wrong, it's going to take the human hatred out of the umpires, the refereeing, which gives such a bitter taste, I think, in all sports. Now, we're not just talking about baseball. We're not just talking about football, college football. We're not just talking about soccer, basketball. We're talking about all sports. The officiating has traditionally, in the last few years, if not forever, but at least since I can remember, has been subpar. And that's going to be the third out. Nick Castellanos hits it right to the first baseman. That's all right. We're going to the top of the ninth. Top of the ninth. We need 3 more outs. But yeah, that's my point with the artificial intelligence. I don't think it needs to take over the game. I just think we need to use it to help take some pressure off the officiating.
Yeah, it makes the game. But
what do you think about that? Because I think being able to take pressure off the officiating is really going to, I would almost say, bring every sport up 25%, a quarter. I think a quarter of the population is going to go, okay, at least it's not them who made the mistake. You know, it's a computer now. And I'm sure, you know, the next thing we're going to do is blame the computer or whatever.
Listen, at some point after they make that change, we're not, like, the missed call is going to be a distant memory. We're not even going to remember that. It's just going to be, that was the call. Like, it was a strike because it was a strike. You know what I mean? It was a ball because it was a ball. It was safe because he was safe. It was an out because he was an out. We're going to hear a lot of talk once they make the change early on, right? Because that was part of the game. That was the beauty of the game. But after not a very long time, it's just going to be what it is. Like, that's just what it was. It was an out. Like, what are you going to argue at that point? And people don't like not having something to argue about, but it's going to be a strike because it's a strike. You know what I mean?
Right. Let me ask you a question. How do they show, you know, where the ball is in the strike zone? Is there a human that watches the game and then click? That's where it was.
I'd be interested to see.
Do you know how that's?
No, I don't know.
I'm curious if they're using computers already, because I would argue that if we did go to a artificial intelligence to review plays, and we went to review a strike or something, I don't even know if they do that, but you know, if we went to review that, I would argue that if there is a human that is calling that, there's a very good chance that we see it on the way left side of the box, but that was human error, and it was actually, like you said, painting the corner, and the ump actually made a good call. But just because, you know, we can't really tell where it was on the screen, we're just trying to guess. I don't know. I'd have to look that. Excuse me. I'd have to look that up and see exactly how they do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see that, and to like test kind of like the accuracy of the AI is going to be interesting in how they do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how it's going to work. They're a consulting company of some sort, some magnitude, some very large consulting company. There's quite a few of them out there. I know there's a small one in Nashville called Provisions Group. There's a big one called Accenture. There's another big one called Deloitte. There's these big consulting companies out there that help with these kind of things. What's probably going to happen, because I know one of those consulting companies actually built the magic bracelets for Disney. I forget which one. You can Google it. Just Google Disney bracelet, who invented it. You'll figure it out. They have this like technology where they had these bracelets on people for a long time, and these bracelets were very like, oh my god, it opens my room, it can pay for my bill, it can do all these special things. And then all of a sudden, as they were walking through the Disney park, they would get recommendations. They would get, oh, that's gonna go center field. That's gonna be a one
top
hit.
9. Josh Bell goes to first base with no outs.
Josh Bell goes to first.
Goes
with
off
no
the
outs.
foot of Sir Anthony Dominguez. So he's now at 21 pitches. They didn't change the pitcher to go into the 9th to go ahead and get 3 outs. So now a somewhat interesting situation developing in the top of the 9th, but it still stands that Sir Anthony Dominguez only needs 3 outs to get out of this game and give Philly a 2-1 lead in the series.
Yeah. So what I was saying though, basically just to wrap up a long story, I think when they do introduce artificial intelligence, they're actually going to introduce it before we even know about it. They're going to practice with it for 3, 4, 5 years, and then they're going to announce it and it's going to come out. And who knows? They might even be using it right now. They might be testing it out right now as we speak. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't.
No, absolutely. They're definitely testing it out.
Wow, that one's in the dirt. We got a 2-0 count now with Dominguez. What do you think, John? Should we if he hits this one,
they're going to take him out.
You know. Yeah, they got to. I mean, I almost argue even if they're able to, if he hits this ball and it's a fly out or a ground out or whatever,
they'll take him out.
I still think Dominguez, this might be his last. Yeah, there we go.
Only way that he is able to.
Oh, they counted that a strike again.
Yeah, they did. The only way I see him staying in this game
corner.
Is if they have Robertson is up in the bullpen now. The only way he stays in this game is if they turn the double play.
I was going to say a strikeout. A double play still means that you allowed the player to hit the ball in a successful manner. You're just lucky that the player was there to get the double play. Is that, I don't know. I think you're, obviously this is my first year watching baseball.
No, that's
is that
also,
a weird way to look at it?
They could do that. They could bring in David Robertson to get the last out for sure. Yeah, no, that's definitely viable. And you never know. They're making the call now. And they're explaining exactly what we're talking about right now. So whatever they decide.
Oh, that's exactly. You're right.
It's exactly what they're talking about. You're right. Yeah.
They're literally like, hey, what do you think? If he hits a double out, we keep him in. But if he strikes him out, maybe we let him do one more round. That's what they're doing right now. Wow, we got a full count right now. So John, I gotta say, I'm first year Philly fan, and I'm starting to feel the stress.
Yeah, this is stressful right here. He does throw a very good pitch, close enough to where Profar has to defend. So he pokes out. Unfortunately, doesn't stay in play because when you're poking, I mean, you're most likely that's going for a double play. That's a good location though for Sir Anthony. So hopefully he can do it again.
Honestly, I say he hits it again. That's what I'm saying. Hit it again. Hit the same spot again.
Setting up on that side. He goes inside.
Ooh, that was way inside.
Oh!
Way inside. Because he swung it. He did. He did.
Oh, and he gets thrown out.
He gets thrown out of the game. I mean, I don't know. I have to see the replay, but I feel like he swung that bat.
You think so?
I was gonna say something after because you said ball.
So real quick,
you said inside, and I thought I heard it. Go ahead, say it.
So real quick, what just happened is Profar, with a full count, tries to check his swing. After the appeal to the third base umpire, he says that he goes around and calls the out. Profar, enraged, starts yelling at the third base umpire and gets thrown out of the game. So
instantly.
Now we have...
Without a warning, nothing.
So let's see. Here we go.
Ooh, let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's a strike. He didn't go full swing, but he went... in my opinion, I don't know baseball. I could be wrong.
As long as he has to go completely past home plate. And it looks like he does.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep, and it looks
Yeah.
like he does.
Oh, he's yelling some swear words out there, and he's looking at the pitcher too. And it was the home umpire that threw him out. I thought it was the third base. That makes more sense because he saw there. He was right there hearing the vulgarness.
Yeah, home plate umpire is the one that makes that
They're
call.
gonna keep Dominguez in. They're gonna keep Dominguez in because of the strikeout,
So now
and
we have-
that's what I said. I said if they struck him out to keep him in. And look at that bottom right corner
That's control and location.
outside.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Ooh. Robertson, keep warming up. Keep warming up.
Yeah,
We're okay right now. We're okay right now.
Yeah, keep doing your thing.
Keep warming up just in case, but we're doing okay right now. That was a great pitch. Oh, dude, this is getting exciting. Okay, it's up in the air.
It's a pop fly.
Who's got it?
Should be pretty routine for Bryson Stott. Yeah,
There we go.
This one more out.
One more out. Done. One more. Oh man. Oh man, we got one more, folks. We got one more out. If you're still here, if you're still watching, make sure you give us a like. Make sure you add a comment in the chat. It helps the algorithm. And if you don't, come back later, rewatch the stream and add a comment then. That also helps the algorithm. Wow, John, I'm actually gonna full screen this. I'm not gonna be able to see your face or my screen at all. I'm too invested. So, if I look like a dummy, just let me know.
You're good.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad they're keeping
from
Dominguez in. I'm very happy they're keeping Dominguez in. I think he deserves it. Because if we remember correctly in the regular season, there were a couple of losses on his dime.
Yep.
There were a couple of losses where, okay, there we go. That's a foul. It's going to be a foul. So we just need one more strike, folks, and this one is done. Either a strike or an out. Puts this one away. There is not a single person in the entire stadium that is not on their feet right now. Not a single one. Everybody is on their feet. There is nobody sitting. Nobody. All right. We go bottom left.
God, that ball has some movement on it, man.
I'd agree. Quick update on the Temple-Tulsa game. Nobody cares. Temple, 16. Tulsa, 24. Tulsa has the ball. Not going great there, but it's all right. That's all right.
Swing and a
That's a shot,
miss! Philadelphia takes a 2-1 lead in the National League Championship Series. Michael, going into Game 4, 2 more games in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2 wins away from the big show. Unreal. Phillies had 9 hits tonight. Padres had 7.
Not only that, we're going to be doing this all over again tomorrow. We're going to be there for that game. We're going to be doing this all over again tomorrow. Make sure you tune in early because we're going to be talking a little NHL, talk about those retro jerseys. And we're going to be here live cheering on the Phillies. John, I got to, not for nothing. Leave your room as it is. I'm going to leave mine as well. I got 2 beer cans here. I'm not going to touch them.
I'm not touching nothing.
I'm not touching nothing, dude.
I'm not touching nothing.
I'm leaving it all. You know what I mean? The only thing I'm moving is my phone and this glass because it still has beer in it. And that's, I think, arguably a good enough reason. But that glass is empty. That bottle hasn't been touched since the beginning of the game. Those 2 beer cans, they're staying there. And they're going to sit there. Keep the jersey there. Keep the Flyers jersey in the back. What a game. I mean, it was scary at first, right? We had a little bit of like they tied it up. But then, in the end, Philly dominated. I mean, they really did. Not only on offense, but defense too. We had some really great saves, some really good catches, and some mess ups, obviously. But if we can tighten that up tomorrow, we're gonna look real good for Sunday.
Absolutely. In a Game 3 where Joe Musgrove starts, every fan in the stadium had to be a little bit nervous, right? Took that early lead. Kyle Schwarber sets the precedence with a solo home run. Philly runs with the game, secures the 2-1 lead over San Diego at home. They have 2 more at home, hoping to win a trip to the World Series. Go ahead.
Early prediction. Pitchers tomorrow. Who do you think for Philly? Who do you think for San Diego?
I think we'll see Kyle Gibson.
That's what I was thinking too. I don't know San Diego. I don't know him enough. You know baseball. You'll probably be able to put someone out there. Gibson is literally the name I was thinking of. So okay,
Yeah,
I guess that as well.
I don't know. I don't know who San Diego's after it's going to change. I think going down. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point because now they have to kind of relook at their strategy because they're down.
Yeah. So
is there someone better on their team than Musgrove? I don't know because he's the best that I've seen so far. Is there someone else that you know off the top of your head that's better than him?
We already saw Yu Darvish, and we also saw Blake
Right,
Snell,
and Yu Darvish was great, but also, again, both of them, didn't do what they needed to do.
Yeah. All three,
and they're not going to start them again, are they? Would they ever do that? Would they ever bring someone back?
They might. I don't think so though.
Really?
I don't think they will.
I was going to say have you seen that before in such short notice?
Yeah, depending on.
Have you ever seen a pitcher start back to back?
No, they will never do that.
I was gonna say I can't imagine that would ever happen.
No, they will never do that. But we'll be back tomorrow night. Phillies get the win.
We will. I'm excited.
Trying to secure a trip to the World Series for the first time since 2009.
We got a lot tomorrow.
We do got
a whole lot tomorrow. We got a lot of college football bets we got on.
Mm-hmm.
We got obviously the baseball game. What about basketball? I don't know enough about basketball. What's going on with basketball tomorrow?
There's a bunch of games on. We'll cover that tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. So we got tons of sports. And, of course, the, Philly's going to continue on the playoffs. And that's all I got, John. How about you?
Hey, that's all I got, too. Until tomorrow, everybody have a good night.